Hello and welcome to another stream. We have the BSL 11 Gosuleague round of 16 Group B. My name is MasterReY and with me here, as always, the wonderful Snipe.
Hey everyone, glad to be here as always. Looking forward to some great Gosuleague games today. Round of 16 once again. Find out the next two players advancing forward to the round of 8.
Yes, and this is also the group with two Terrans, so we have a very nice mix of matchups here. Um, yeah, and now we take a look at the players that we'll see today. Here we go. So we will watch and cast Group B. And yeah, we have first of all the Protoss NBA. Pretty much like a staple in the Gosuleague. I have played him myself already in the Gosuleague. I think he's always in the Gosuleague.
Yeah, we've casted him before too.
Yeah.
Earlier this season, I believe.
Yeah, let's check the next player here, Reina. Reina from Bolivia. I don't know too much about him, but I've definitely seen the name before. I think he's also a pretty good player above 2k MMR and was also in Gosuleague before, I think. Do you know anything
Yeah,
about him?
definitely a little bit. Yeah, he's definitely quite a strong player. He was in the same division as I was in BWCL this past season,
Hmm.
so I saw his name pop up in the lineup quite often and picking up quite a few wins. So pretty strong player, I would say.
Yeah. And then we have the Spanish Zerg Squall, a very old school player, but also very active in those recent times here. Has been improving more and more in the last few months. I think he came back to the scene around like half a year ago, maybe a bit longer, but he's really improving fast. I think he reached S rank already.
Yeah, that's impressive. He was also doing some coaching in CPL, Coach People League. So definitely a strong player. I know some of the Zergs definitely like his coaching. So
Mhm. There's a nice comment by Fisheye that my category on Twitch is not correct here, and also my title is not correct. Give me a little second here while I fix that. That's a very important observation. Thank you. Totally forgot about that. Sorry. Will only take a few seconds. Okay. And now it should all be correct. Yeah, so sorry about that. We go back into our group preview. Yeah, so we just talked about Squall. And now, for the last player in this group, we have the German Terran Kyuge, also known as Ratatatateng. Um, I know him pretty well because he's pretty much one of my best online friends. I've played with him for 10 years already or so, or 8 years, whatever. Um, and yeah, he started playing StarCraft again pretty much 1 year ago. He was playing back then as well. Did a little break, but he's back up to A rank and doing pretty well.
that's good to see. I actually met him on ladder once, and he took me down. So there you go. He was B rank at the time, but good to see he's improving. Or hear that he's gotten up to A rank now.
Yeah, I think he finished at 2.1k for the BSL ladder, so uh,
Okay.
a bit above B rank right now. So usually, not sure if I said it already, but he's also known as Ratatatateng, playing Clan Leagues BWCL for Team Red, my team. Yeah, and that is the group.
Looks
So
like a pretty
let's
strong group.
yeah, and again, as I said, two Terrans. That's a pretty rare thing to see in a group of Gosuleague here. So all the Terrans should
The
enjoy
last
this
two
group.
Terrans. Yeah.
The last two Terrans as well, yeah. Phoebus got eliminated here in Group A, but we have two chances today.
Hopefully, at least one of them moves on, so we have a Terran in the round of 8. It'd be nice to get 2 Terrans in the round of 8, but I don't know. It's a tough group. I think anyone could make it out here.
Yeah, let's take a small look at how these players got here. So first of all, NBA. NBA is here. He finished 2-0 in a group with 2 Protoss and the Zerg. So first place finish here for NBA. Then we have Raynor advancing in second place below Thebes, and Thebes got eliminated 0-2. But yeah, I mean, of course, those are other players. Maybe it was a bit harder for Thebes in Group A. Okay, apart from that, we have Squall. Squall was here in Group A, also finishing in first place, 2-0, in a full Zerg group. We casted those games. And then fourth player, we have Kyuge finishing as second place in also a full Zerg group, apart from him, of course. So a lot of Zerg experience, but we only have one single Zerg. So Squall being in a Zerg only group in the round of 32 can't really get his experiences from there, or yeah, doesn't have any advantage in this group. And I think with that, we are ready for the first game. The first
Awesome.
game will be NBA versus Reina. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the very first PVT in the round of 16, because our other Terran, he never played Tim, and he also played against Dark, but Dark was yeah, he was no, he played against Deska. Okay, yeah, we have not seen a PVT, so let's go into that. Okay, game is starting. The map will be Overwatch. And again, guys, every game, every match is a best of 3 here. And now we are ready. In the first game, let's jump in. Okay, in the top left of Overwatch, we have our Protoss player NBA.
All right. And in the bottom right, we have the Teal Terran Bull Rainer. Looks like a bit of chat here. I can't read it, but that's okay. Yeah, this map for PVT, I feel like it's can be definitely good for Terran unless Protoss does something aggressive like carriers or reavers or something. So we'll have to see if NBA wants to play that kind of style, or like it's a map that Terran can easily get a couple of bases up and turtle up and take advantage of the terrain to punish Protosses. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm a bit worried for NBA unless he can pull something out, like I said, like carriers or reavers or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I've played quite a few PVTs on this map as well, and I feel most of the games, the Terran has a pretty easy time getting new bases and camping, get a big army, and then if he pushes, there are not a lot of options for the Protoss to flank him, so it's pretty hard in my opinion as well, yeah.
Yeah, hard to play like a gateway style or even like an arbiter style can be difficult. But we'll have to see. So far, it looks like we just got the barracks coming up. We'll have to see if Rainer wants to take that gas, or when he wants to take it, or if he's just going to go for some kind of expansion. Considering this is L and is natural, I think he's going to take the gas. So this is going to be some kind of tech or factory first. Meanwhile, nothing out of the ordinary here coming out from NBA just yet.
Yeah, pretty normal openings here. No fast expansion or anything like that. This map, on this map, you have this little bridge in front of your natural that you can see here now. And here, of course, you can defend this very well. And if the opponent wants to avoid this bridge, he has to go around a longer way. So maybe some players think that they can get away with a greedier expansion because they don't need as much defense. But yeah, both players going for gas here, so pretty standard.
Yeah. Like it is a best of 3, so maybe you can take a chance, but at the same time, you don't want to do anything too crazy. I mean, you don't want to lose and go down to the loser's bracket or anything. But let's see here. We've got the factory coming down. Probe's just going to try and harass that SCV a little bit, see if he can't delay it or deny, maybe get a kill. Don't think he'll be able to. But doesn't stop him from trying.
Yeah, the Marine is out, will prevent that, and Probe leaves the base here. He probably did see, okay, comes in again. He wants to do another check of the gas, probably. This is also very important information. If the Terran has 3 SCVs here in gas, then it means there's usually a second factory coming, but seeing only 1 SCV here, he knows, okay, this will probably be a fast expansion after the factory, and places a pylon here to block that machine shop. Very interesting.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see him cancel it after he gets the lift off. It's just going to delay that first machine shop, first tank by a little bit. And yeah, there's the cancel now. Just a little bit of a harassment, a little bit annoying. I don't know like if it's entirely worth it or not, but he seems to think so, so we'll go with it. We do have command center being put down now for Raynor. Meanwhile, back on the Protoss side, Dragoon range has been started. We only have 1 Dragoon, so it looks like... Oh no, there's the second one. It looks like NBA is going to take his expansion just now.
Yeah, so pretty similar expansion timing for both players. Reyna being slightly ahead here, but this is pretty standard anyways for this matchup. I just checked and we could actually switch the colors to red and blue. I think that would be a little bit better compared to the gray on this map sometimes. So let's do it. Now we have, okay, I guess blue is also not super nice. I guess the viewers can choose. Viewers, please tell us, you want to see blue or gray?
Alright, well, we got a couple Dragoons coming here now to start hammering away at this bunker a little bit. He won't get too much damage done, since the tank's already out. Gotta be a little bit careful, don't want to take too much damage on these Dragoons. And he really wants to get that bunker. He did get it quite low, so a little bit of danger there in dying, but there is an SCV repairing that now, so I don't think he's going to lose it, and especially with that Dragoon being very low on health, he doesn't want to risk losing that to the tank there, so he's just going to back up and go back home, macro up. Looks like we have the robotics facility, and actually I didn't see this, we have a Citadel of Adun and a Templar Archives up here really quickly in the top corner. So I think he probably wants to go for some kind of a Dark Templar drop here and see if he can't catch Raynor off guard.
Yeah, so that fits what we talked about earlier, that this is often a little advantage for the Terran on this map if it's a normal game and a normal gateway style game. So he definitely mixes it up here, and his choice is the DT drop. That can of course give him the early win straight up, or it can mean a very big advantage.
Yeah, well timed. The gateway's finishing up at the same time as that Templar Archives, so he's going to be able to get 2 DTs starting here pretty quickly. Alright, there's the second one. Looks like the Terran wants to maybe do a little bit of a push, put on a little bit of pressure. He's moving out here with a couple of tanks and some Marines, third tank following in behind, and a couple of Vultures. So this is a similar idea to like a FAC, CC FAC kind of a push. But he can't go through the middle there with those tanks, so he's going to have to go around. It looks like.
I think they
I don't
can
remember
fit.
if they can fit.
They can
okay,
fit,
it was just the
I'm
Marine.
pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. It just looked like there for a second they weren't able to, but yeah, they do fit. So he's going to come and push across now. Does NBA have enough to defend? Of course he does with the DTs.
The thing is,
seeing the DTs, Rainer's going to have to turn around probably. So.
Well, he just doesn't. Loses his units. Oh, that's crazy. He's probably in panic mode getting detection his main because he did not start an academy or engineering base so far. So this is a big problem. He has some mines, so that's nice, but already losing a few tanks here.
Oh, one mine does hit the DT as it's coming across, but that's not going to help him in the main. Like, he's not expecting the drop yet. He doesn't know about this. Vultures do scout that now, so he should know. I want to see if he sends some vultures into the main to get some mines down quickly, because he still has no detection for this first DT being dropped into the main here.
Yeah, and I mean, with the shuttle, if there are no turrets, even if there's a scan or even 2 scans, he can just pick up the Dark Templar and keep it alive until the scan is over. So he really needs an engineering bay here. He needs turrets, and he's getting that right now. But this is pretty much the best case scenario for NBA. Killing some tanks, getting some harassment done here with the opponent completely not prepared for the shuttle DT.
Yeah, well, we do have the DT in the mineral, and he kills that scanner off, but there's a bunch of mines being placed, and oh my god. Did you see that? That DT blew up, what was it, 5 vultures? Yeah, wow. All right. Well, kind of worth for him there.
For sure, yes. Meanwhile, getting his third base, and he's keeping up the harassment with 2 more DTs, but this time losing the first DT already, losing the shuttle, and there is the scan, and that DT will also die now. So this second shuttle, or the second drop, was defended a little bit better, but still, this is definitely a good advantage for NBA here.
Yeah, good start for him for sure. I don't think Terran's necessarily dead here, but these are the kind of advantages he needs to be able to get before Terran can really get to that critical mass of like tanks and vultures that's just so scary for Protoss on this map.
And to be honest, I'm very scared for Reyna. He has only 1 single tank.
Yeah.
Siege mode is just like 60% done, and there are 6 goons in his natural, killing his Rex, now killing some more units, killing some SCVs.
Yeah, there's nothing in the bunker. Okay, a couple of Dragoons go down, so it looks like Raynor is going to be able to hold on here. But that was definitely scary for a little bit. Oh, one of his goons is attacking his other goon. Look at that.
Yeah. Still
hasn't fixed it. He may just kill his own goon. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, he finally stops attacking it, but he almost killed his own Dragoon there. A bit unfortunate for him. That extra goon maybe could have helped him bust this position here, but now I think Raynor is going to be able to hold this off with that 1 tank in the back and a couple of units up front to block and buffer for it. Well, there's a few more Dragoons coming in. This still looks kind of dicey.
Yeah, only 1 tank, no bunker, no wall, almost no mines. There's 1 mine. But looks like NBA doesn't want to try anymore. But again, he got a lot of damage out of this whole harassment here. And you can see it, he's a little bit ahead in the supply, he's a little bit ahead on the worker count. He has the third base up. Reyna just now starting his third base.
Yep. Looks like he's going to send a couple of vultures out on the map, see if he can't find somewhere to get some counter damage done himself to help catch up, get some probe kills. It looks like maybe he can get in here. It's not quite blocked off yet, and the vultures do get in before that probe can get blocked off. There is 1 cannon to help defend, but he's going to, looks like, pick off the cannon, then he's going to be able to start picking off some of these probes, which could be really deadly here for NBA.
Yeah, that's nice counter damage done here by Reyna. And no observer, I don't see any observer here. So not only some probes are dying, but also the goons here. So there's like a 3rd goon that is died from the mines.
Yeah, it feels like that was actually pretty good for Raynor. Like any advantage NBA may have gotten from that early harass has just kind of been negated. Like looking at the supplies, we got even worker counts. We're gonna have the 3rd base coming up here for Raynor very shortly. And supplies are pretty close, so I think this game's pretty much more or less evened out here now.
Yeah, the question will be, okay, I just want to check, there's a shuttle, and there are some high Templars now, so Storm will be done very soon. The shuttle is loaded, and maybe NBA could go for an attack once Reyna moves out to actually take a 3rd base. So the command center is finished, but yeah, Reyna only with 4 tanks, and if they are bunched together like this, 2 Storms can take 3 of them out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Looks like he's heading towards that natural mineral, natural mineral line. If he can get a couple of storms off there and kill a bunch of SCVs, that's another good way that he can gain an advantage back here. We'll have to see how it goes. Looks like it's flying in now. Okay, he's gonna stop it for now, but keep an eye on that as he'll probably go in, move in pretty shortly to get a storm drop off.
Yeah. Okay, so usually a good way to do this, to do any harassment, is to poke with your main army at some place to keep the opponent's attention on that position and then fly in with the drop. But okay, NBA is not trying to do that. He's actually flying his shuttle back. I'm really interested what he wants to do here with that shuttle.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe he saw this army move out and thought, okay, I'm gonna need this to help defend this push coming out from Raynor. Which could be true. Like, this is actually a pretty scary looking Terran army compared to the size of the Protoss army. Like, looking at the supplies, actually, Raynor's slightly ahead. So his army will definitely win in straight up fight here. So he really would need those Templars to get some good storms to try and win this battle.
Oh, some more mines getting triggered here. Okay. Oh, very good first shot by the tanks. Some goons die again. And yeah, as you say, the supply is definitely in a good spot for the Terran here. Same supply, always good for Terran, and there are a lot of tanks. But I'm not sure if Reyna knows that Storm is actually in that shuttle, so he has to make sure that he doesn't siege all his tanks on one place. That can end very badly.
Yeah, definitely want to get a good spread if you're going to siege them all. There is a pretty solid group there. You could probably hit like 4 or 5 of those with the storm easily. This shuttle is going to get picked off though.
Oh.
Uh-oh. That spells trouble for NBA here.
Yeah.
He still does have one Templar with his army, but that's only one storm at the moment. And his third is under serious threat now. There's a big army, and he can't really engage us. It looks like his plan here is to try and go for the counterattack, but I don't know if this is going to work. Attacking across the small bridge, all the goons are getting stuck up on that barracks there. And like, there's already a group of tanks. Yeah, he's just going to back out. There's nowhere for him to really do any counter damage, and he's going to probably lose his third base there.
Yeah, this is a very bad spot for NBA here. He doesn't know what to do with his army. He just lost all his zealots. He has only pure goons here, and there are a lot of tanks already in a sieged up position.
Well, if he was going to go, now might be the time that he's unsieged all his tanks, but seeing the army, he's going to quickly siege those back up. It does look like NBA has about a control group and a half of units in his natural. There's some zealots and a Templar. He's going to have to bring those and maybe try for some kind of a flank. It looks like at the moment he's just going to position up on this high ground to try and cut off reinforcements, but if he's not careful, he could get sandwiched here in the middle. Okay, instead he's going to go up and try and take out this third base, but I don't think this is going to work. Like, he's just going to be able to get his Dragoons trapped up here, and that's going to be a good trade for Raynor, and it's going to really put the pressure on NBA.
Yeah, he lost like 5 goons to mines prior to this, so now this base or this group gets easily cleaned up. The command center is still alive. And now, okay, another army for NBA. So he wants to use the fact that Reyna's tanks are not sieged up. There's no minefield in front of the tank, so maybe he can get a good fight here. Surrounds the tanks with zealots, so this is very good. Goons on the high ground.
Yeah. Is it going to be enough? I guess he is training effectively. He has retaken the supply lead here for the moment. It's still pretty close, though. You'd still say this is a favorable position for Terran, especially taking that base up. NBA did establish another third base, but being three base against the Terran isn't exactly where you want to be. Like, ideally, you want to be up in bases. He is killing some SCVs, which is nice, but there's already an SCV lead as well for Raynor. So, and he's just going to lose a few more Dragoons here. Like, I don't know. He is going for that fourth base in the top right. If he can get that established, start mining from there, maybe he can find a way to fight back. But this is getting pretty scary for him. Like, these tanks are getting pretty upgraded. Their 1-0 looks like plus 2-1 is going to finish up here pretty soon as well. And with that, the army is just going to be that much more powerful.
Yes. He also had at least one forge, I think, if not, I think even two forges at his third base, and they were both killed. So that's also a big problem for NBA. He's definitely in the upgrade disadvantage then. And he let those 6 tanks that were killing his third base, he let them join up with the rest of the army again. I would really love to see that he catches those units, those 6 tanks that were pretty much completely undefended, but now he lets them join up, and now Reyna has a scary army.
Yeah, losing those forges definitely painful, but that's not the only story. It looks like Rainer's going to take a 4th base. If NBA catches wind of this, he could definitely go and snipe that and delay it for now. But Rainer wouldn't mind too much. He's really got to find a way to deal with this army, and I don't know if he's going to be able to. He does have a couple of Templars, each with 2 storms, so a few good storms could maybe whittle down that tank counter, clean out the vultures. But this army is it's severely lacking zealots at the moment. It's got like 2 zealots and it's got more Dark Templar than Zealots, which is interesting to see. I don't know if he's just hoping to catch him without detection, or what. Like, they do a lot of damage, but they also die a lot quicker than Zealots. So.
Yeah, and now Reyna's actually just driving his tanks into the natural of NBA. Reyna knows he has a way bigger army here. He's ahead, 30 supply, and NBA's army just can't do anything against that Terran army. So he's opting to go for a counterattack here on the third base, and the third base is undefended, so at least he can take that out. But if he loses his natural and then probably the third base as well, that will not help him.
Yeah, like it's all he really can do with his army, which is why he's doing it. Nice couple of storms here from NBA, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to lose most of his army, and this is one of the problems with playing on like a 2-player map or a map like this, with relying on gateways in one area. Like Terran now is going to be able to siege up and kind of cut the reinforcements of NBA off, right? Like, it's hard to move down a small ramp, if you got a bunch of tanks sieged right outside. So NBA is Rainer, is very close to being able to do that. And then what can NBA do from that point, right? Like, he's got no production facilities anywhere else, and he can't really build them anywhere else. So it's going to be almost impossible for him to even break out of his own main base if that's the case. But it looks like he's probably not going to do that, and is maybe going to instead try and just end it now and kill the third base.
Oh my god. This is his own shuttle. Oh no. This is horrible. Oh, that fight went so poorly for NBA. I mean, okay, he found the new third base of Reyna, but it looks like he will not be able to defend his other bases.
Yeah, a little bit of everything kind of going wrong for NBA at the wrong time. But, I mean, this is currently the only mining base for Rainer. If he were to shut this down, Rainer wouldn't be mining there for a little bit. He is doing some long distance mining, and it looks like he is going to be able to reset up his old third base. But that's one way you can kind of come back, if you completely cut out his mining and then kill the army one time. Will he be able to do that? I don't know. It looks like Rainer is able to hold on to both bases now, so yeah, I think NBA's days are numbered here.
Nice zealot here, going between the tanks. So he can clear up this army. It's, yes, pretty much. Okay, let's look at the running bases. So the main base is mined out. The natural is killed off off NBA. So NBA is on 2 bases here. Okay, 2 bases for NBA. But hold that thought. Okay, barely wins this fight.
Oh, shuttle gets picked off.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 bases for NBA. Reyna, main base is mined out. Natural is also mined out. So he's also on 2 bases. So we have a 2 base against 2 base situation here. This is usually good for the Terran, but it's not over yet, I would say.
Yeah. Looking at supplies too, like, they're very close, which you'd say favors Terran. There's still some fight maybe left here in NBA, but like I said, the upgrades are getting stronger and stronger for Terran, and that just makes it harder and harder to kill the army. It looks like he actually hasn't started 3-2, so he's not going to have that for a long time. But 2-1 is still very strong, Terran army, and he's still pushing forward with this tank Goliath Vulture mix. And I don't think NBA has enough here to really take this army. He really needs some kind of spellcasters or just more units to be able to flank this Terran army and take it out.
Exactly. He was able to win some of the fights because of storms, because of shuttle drops on the tanks, maybe stasis even. But he doesn't have all of this. He just has some goons and some valets here, nothing else. And I think with that, Reina will probably win this fight and take the game.
Yeah, NBA did try and get in there. He knew he had to stop this army if he wanted a chance to win before he lost a base, but losing that fight, he realized, okay, I can't beat this army. He's just gonna go kill my bases and win the game. So he GG's out. Well played.
Yeah, GG. Okay, so 1-0 for Reina here. But remember, guys, this is a best of 3. So NBA can still bounce back from this loss and take the match. Okay, I'm hosting the next game here. Game 2. Oh, will be on Gold Rush. Have we actually seen this map before? I don't think anyone picked it in our cast, at least.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is this loser's choice in this round, or is it just
Yes.
alternating? Somebody picked this map for sure, anyways.
I
Now,
think
if
it's,
Protoss picked it, maybe he's got something cheesy in mind for it. We'll have to see.
Okay, yeah, let's find out. Game 2 is ready on Gold Rush. And here we go. In the 9 o'clock position, we have our blue Terran winning the first game. It is Reina.
Yeah, we definitely want to keep red-blue here. And in the 12 o'clock position, we have our red Protoss NBA. All right, so this is an interesting map. It's kind of like a new version or update version of like Outsider. You can kind of move around the back edges of the map, get into your opponent's base that way. There's also those eggs and assimilators. You can kill the eggs to get through, or the assimilators to block your opponents from being able to get through, which is kind of an interesting and neat feature. It does allow for scouting to be a little bit easier sometimes. Like you can get into your opponent's base multiple ways, but it also delays any kind of really early rush from either player because they have to go through by killing the eggs first, which will slow it down. So pretty interesting to see. Now, seeing as Protoss picked this, I really think he's got some kind of a plan for it, right? Like some kind of a cheese or a rush or something he wants to do to try and catch the Terran off guard here.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I don't think I've seen too many games, too many PVTs on this map before, so I'm not sure how this map would play out in the late game. But there is a little possibility that maybe NBA thinks that this one is also better for late game PVT. Who knows? Or do you have any experiences that Terran is definitely stronger in the late game?
I don't, but this is okay. This is what he wanted to go for, is a 12 Nexus here. Now, this can be pretty good because it's harder for Terran to punish this, right? Like, they can't really get the units over here that quickly necessarily. But, okay, I was like, Raynor looks like he's actually going to scout in that direction and see this right away. But instead, he turns around and he's going to go towards... He's still going to scout Protoss right away, see the lack of Nexus or Gateway, and assume, okay, this is probably 12 Nexus. But unfortunately for him, it is in a spot that's closer to Terran, which may make it a little bit easier to punish with some kind of drop or a push if he kills those eggs. But we'll have to see. Like, if NBA can build up a big enough force, maybe he can fight back. And now Raynor will get in and realize that this is probably a 12 Nexus somewhere.
Yeah, and that could mean that there will be a lot of focus in this top left corner, and for that I want to explain the mechanics here for anyone who has not seen this before. So there are these two eggs. Eggs have a lot of armor, so you need a few units to kill them. If you kill the eggs that are between these assimilator, you can't see them here in the fog of war, but they are there, trust me. If you kill them, you can run units through, but if you kill the assimilator, both of them, you can block the pass permanently. So what NBA wants to do here is probably kill the assimilators that are down here so that he blocks Reyna from getting up here from his natural pretty much. And Reyna probably wants to push up here and kill the eggs and go through before the assimilators are killed. So that's an interesting
Yeah.
situation here.
It's almost going to be a rush to see who can deny the other or get through first, right?
Yeah.
Like, Raynor has scouted this 12 Nexus. He knows exactly where it is now, knows what it is. But the thing is, to break through here, NBA is going to have to kill his eggs first before he can go down and kill those assimilators. Whereas Raynor's only just going to have to kill the eggs to get through. That said, Dragoons are actually decent at killing eggs. So if NBA gets a couple of Dragoons out, he will be able to kill those eggs fairly quickly and get out. And then work on those assimilators as well. We do have a probe sent down there for NBA. He just wants to check and make sure that Raynor isn't actually killing this yet and trying to get through. Going to pull that back now, seeing that he has not started. Meanwhile, he is scouting around with this probe in the base. And I don't know what the Zealot is doing. It went to like this mineral third base, and now he's just running home.
Yeah, probably just like a misclick. Wanted to click into the main base, but then forgot about it because it was not arriving probably.
Yeah. All right, well, we do have the first Dragoon out. We'll have to see if he wants to go and kill those eggs really quickly so he can get to his base. Looks like he's going to deal with that SCV first, but I would expect to see him go finish off those eggs after he kills this SCV.
Yeah,
Start working
probably.
on. Or not.
He's not doing it, so Reyna could get his units up here, kill the eggs between these assimilators, and then just run through and kill this base. And NBA cannot defend it because he cannot go through these assimilators because the eggs are still here. So that could happen, and we see the tanks moving towards the eggs.
Yeah, I'm really curious or wondering why he didn't kill those eggs, because if Raynor can break through here, then NBA is not going to be able to get through to defend it himself. And the first egg is down now, so Raynor is going to be able to get through here very quickly. Now, that said, NBA is going to push towards the front here, and the tanks are out of position to defend, so maybe he can get something done. But he's broken through. He's sending all his Marines and tanks now to the top left. There's not going to be a lot to defend, but he can easily pull those tanks back to save himself when he needs to.
I'm a bit shocked that he's actually sending everything, even the Marines in the bunker, towards the space. But I guess he really wants to kill it fast. But it was risky because his natural was completely undefended, except those mines here. So the mines actually saved him here because NBA did not have an observer, so NBA could not attack, and Reyna is just killing the space. So yeah, I'm not sure. NBA taking this fast base, but then it feels like not playing the map correctly here.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Like, I was confused why he didn't start working on those eggs right away, because you really want to be able to get through there so you can protect your own base. And now look at this. Raynor's actually going to go and kill those eggs himself so he can go and attack NBA's base from behind. He's also got some vultures kind of here hidden on the map that can get around these Dragoons. Like, it feels like Raynor's playing to the map a little bit stronger. He is going to break through here. Now, NBA does have a Dragoon, so he could see this as soon as it comes through. But his army's way out of position to defend this, so as long as Raynor can defend at home or doesn't die to this Dragoons, I think he's just going to win the game here.
Yeah, those 5 vultures alone will win him the game anyways. And there's the GG. If you get 5 vultures into your mineral line and you don't have your units in your base, game is over.
Yep. All right, well, a little bit faster game there, but Raynor does take that down 2-0, which means the first Terran will be in the winner's match, so that bodes well for at least one Terran maybe advancing here.
Yes, Reyna in the winner's match. And now we'll find out who joins him there in the match between Squall and Kyuge.
All right, TVZ action coming up.
The map again is Overwatch here for the first game of this next match. And while I'm preparing the overlay. The game is loaded here. And we are jumping into it in a few seconds. Okay, and now we are ready. So, match 2 from the Gosuleague round of 16 Group B between Hyuga and Squall. Here we go. Okay, again, Overwatch is the map once again, and in the top left we see our second Terran of the group. In red, it is Hyuga.
All right, and in the bottom right, in the blue, it is our Spanish Zerg, Ash Squall. Now, we have a very early SCV coming out onto the map here.
Yeah.
Is this going to be an 8-Rax?
Yes, it is. So, funny side fact, he actually told me about this beforehand.
Okay, so you knew this was coming.
Yeah, it looks like I think he played Squall before on ladder and had pretty hard games in late game against him, so he decided that he wants to end the game early in this first game against Squall. And yeah, that's what he's doing here. So it looks like we have a BBS here, and the Overlord is not close to seeing this.
Now, what is Squall's build going to be? It looks like he's probably just going to go ahead and play the standard, going up with a 12 hatch. So this could be very hard for him to hold. Like he's going to have Marines coming out before he's got a pool started, right? Like first Marine's going to be building by around the same time he's starting his pool probably. So he is sending a drone out to scout. Let's see if he checks up for maybe this proxy, or if he's just going to head straight towards the Terran base. Looks like he's going to head straight towards Terran's base here. So he won't see this until he gets there and he realizes, wait, there's nothing here, so there's probably a proxy. But like we said, first Marine is already half done, and we still don't have a pool started yet for Squall. I'm getting a little bit worried for him. It's going to be hard to defend. He's definitely going to have to pull a bunch of drones to help defend this.
Yeah, this drone scout will not. It's just a little bit too late. I mean, his pool is already super late, and he can't change this anymore. So now he's really in a battle of just drones versus Marines here.
Yeah, like that hatchery's even only half finished, so he's not going to be able to get a sunken down for a little while. We can actually see he's already pulling out the drones. He wants to start catching some of these Marines before they get to his base. Even going to try and kill this SCV or bunker. Like that's really key, is not letting that bunker get up. If that bunker finishes and Marines get in there, this is going to be very, very short game for Squall. I know it looks kind of funny, but this is the only way this is what he has to do to kind of defend this, is pull a bunch of drones and to just buy time. But there's already so many Marines here, like, I don't know if he's going to be able to defend this. The spawning pool is done now, but he's only making a couple of lings so far.
Yeah, links are on the way, but the bunker will finish before the links are out. He's trying to catch some reinforcements with the drones, but I mean, the bunker is out, and those 4 drones cannot get back. They can kill some more Marines here, but in the end, he will probably lose his hatchery. Oh no.
Yeah, we do have a couple of lings come out, but they do get picked off by that bunker and Marines there. Now we got this situation where he's got 4 drones out on the map that he can't even bring home because they will die if they try and go past that bunker. So he's just got to use them to kill some Marines to buy himself some time, but get more lings out and maybe try and kill that bunker. But I don't know, this is going to be a lot of damage. Like, we can already see the SCV count is ahead now for Hyuga. I don't know exactly how to say that, but yeah, I don't know. He's definitely gonna lose this hatchery. It's about to go down, and probably the game with it, to be honest.
Yes, I mean, this is purely a micro battle. After scouting so late, Squall was already in a disadvantage with such a late pool. And then Hyuga did what he needed to do. He microed his Marines well and wins the game. GG.
Oh, all right, very fast game, but it worked. So Hyuga does go up 1-0.
Yeah, very quick game. Okay, and I mean, now we are in a situation where Squall is definitely aware that this is a possibility, and he will probably play a bit safer or scout earlier this time. So this will not happen in the second game. So I'm really interested to see what Kyuga is doing here. I have no information about that. I just knew about the first game, about the strategy there.
Yeah, and now Hyuga knowing that, would you play more greedy then? He's like, okay, this guy's probably gonna play safer. He's gonna be ready for an early pool or early marine rush. So do I play a little bit greedier, get a faster command center or something myself? Looks like we have to take shift tab off this game. It's weird they played top versus bottom in the first game, but not the second game.
Yeah, probably Kyuga hosting the first game and Squall hosting the second here.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, we have the game loaded, and of course Kyuga is ahead 1-0. And now we start. In the 12 o'clock position of Sylphid, we have our purple Terran, Kyuga.
All right, and in the bottom right, we have our yellow Zerg, Ash Squall. Yeah, we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised to even see like a pool first coming out of him this game after what happened last game. Or he might say, okay, you're not going to do that again, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my normal 12 hatch build anyway, because I don't think you're going to rush me again. But we'll have to see. Looks like there won't be that rush from Kyuga this time, as he's going to put that supply depot down there in his main base. It looks like he's actually starting or putting this in a position that he wants to wall off. So this could point towards maybe wanting to go for some kind of a mech opening. But we'll see if he takes that gas shortly after his barracks or not.
Yeah, you can place a barracks below this depot, I think, and then, for example, a factory below that. Okay, he's putting the barracks here. Yeah, but I still think you can put another barracks or actually, I'm not sure. I think there's still a gap.
I know there is a wall you can do here with a barracks factory and supply depot. So we'll see.
And Squall actually doing the same. He's actually again going for a 12 fetch, so he's not scared at all. He thinks I can micro my drones a little bit better if he does it again. He doesn't care, or he just assumes that nobody will do such a cheesy build twice in a row. And I mean he's right here, so it pays off for him.
Yeah, maybe a little bit scared. He did send that drone to the middle of the map first to make sure there was no couple of barracks in there, but he did confirm that there was no BBS in the middle there. Does scout the Terran incorrect direction to scout the Terran with his drone, but he does have an Overlord flying over the minerals now, and we'll see no command center being built here. So he should know Terran's at least doing something back in his base, probably. Hopefully, no hidden racks. And as we can see, that is obviously the case, but Cougar did go for the factory with the gas. He's continuing to mine gas, so this almost makes me think he's actually wants to go for something like a 2 factory or a fast starport kind of a build. Like maybe 2 starport. Okay, he pulled off gas just now.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what he plans to do with that tech that is when his factory completes. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Squall going for a fast layer. So he used his first 100 gas to get the fast layer. So we'll probably see some Mutalisk here very early on.
Yeah, definitely a 2 hatch build. Got to be a little bit careful with that Overlord. You don't want to lose one of your first OVs here to a couple of Marines. That's definitely going to set you back. Is it going to get away? I think it's barely going to make it. Oh, but I don't know.
So
I
close!
think he's got it.
Oh.
Oh no, that feels bad as Zerg for sure.
Yeah.
Losing an Overlord at any point hurts, but one of your first 2 in the early game is definitely going to set you back, slow you down a little bit. Meanwhile, we do have Terran going for that expansion, getting his Vulture out. So this looks like it's going to be more like a 1-1-1 type build. He's mining gas, so I would expect to see maybe a starport coming up here right away. And yes, there it is. So going for some kind of a 1-1-1 build. Now the question is, does he want to go for fast science vessels, or does he going to go for like Valkyries to counter the Zerg Spire Mutalisks coming out?
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to see that. I will probably assume it's Vessel. Yeah, and the Spire is 1/3 of the way to being finished. And is there a second gas? Yes, there is a second gas for Skull just taken here. Of course, losing that Overlord puts him back a little bit, so probably a little advantage here for Kyuge. But of course, if you go for such fast Mutalist, it will mostly depend on the Mutalist doing damage. But Vulture sneaking into the natural, killing 3 drones, and now getting into the main base,
Oh
4
no.
drones. Okay,
Yeah,
5.
one vulture in the main.
Yeah,
Oh,
5 drones down here. Oh, this is wonderful for Kyugi here for our Terran. This is very hard. No links to be seen. Can he catch this with drones only? No, he cannot. So this Vulture can do so much. So far, not a single drone died here. Everyone is hurt. Oh my god, so many red drones.
he's getting lucky or unlucky depending on who you are. Is he gonna capture that vulture? Oh, he is gonna trap that vulture, so he's
Oh
gonna be able to
my.
kill it. Did any
Yeah,
drones even die? Wow.
wow. Like 4 drones, 1 hit away from being dead. Ah, so little missteps here in the focus firing of Kyuge. Oh,
Is
but
that
the
luck
race
or
is coming.
skill? I'm gonna say skill. It's got to be skill. We got to give it to him. But yeah, that was crazy to see. Like you said, though, we do have that first wraith. Kind of attacks the Mutalist. Nothing really happens. One other thing I was gonna say is, although that vulture didn't get any kills, it still cost him a lot of mining time. So it definitely slowed him down. Still worth it. Like that vulture cost him more than 75 minerals. Um,
Yeah.
Looks like we got the add-on coming on for that starport now. Still no science facility started, which makes me think that maybe he wants to go for a Valkyrie. I'm not sure. But we do have Goliaths being started, Goliath production. We do have turrets up, so he's actually going to be fine against the Mutalisks in any event.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of time with that race scouting the Mutalist, and also with that Vulture seeing the Spire, he could completely see the timing and prepare accordingly. And what is he doing with the starport now? So the control tower is done, still no science facility. So maybe it could also be a dropship?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what he wants to do with that because he built that control tower for a reason. Okay, it is going to be dropship. So probably just going to go for Goliath drop here. Definitely can be effective. 4 Goliaths dropped into the main. Because I don't see any vultures out. He didn't get mines. He didn't get vulture speed. He's not building any more vultures, so it's got to be Goliaths he's planning on dropping here.
Yeah. And what has called to answer that? I mean, he went for mutants initially, but they didn't really pay off. They got scouted. They got delayed because of the vulture and everything. So he actually stopped that and is now transitioning to lurkers here. But I mean, lurkers are not the fastest units, and also the Mutalist would be nice to catch that dropship. Now this is not a possibility, and I think this Goliath drop can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, lurkers are an interesting choice. Kuger's just scouted that with his SCV, but lurkers aren't necessarily the strongest thing or best to have against mech. Usually you want more mutas or hydras. We do have Goliath being dropped now in the main, and there's no units here to really defend this. He's pulling a couple of these lurkers back. Are there any scans? Okay, Terran doesn't have any scans, so at least the lurkers will be able to stop these Goliaths from completely destroying his base.
Ah, but this drop is super effective. He killed around 5 or 6 drones, 2 overlords, and he can just pick up. The lurkers cannot do anything. And there are no mutalisks left, but of course Scourges are coming. Hugo should know this. Maybe he can save the dropship with the Goliaths.
He is trying, he is dodging. Oh! Okay, dropship does go down. So these Goliaths will get cleaned up here shortly. But not before doing the damage they needed to do, right? Like that drop was definitely worth it. Now back on the Terran side, looks like he's going to start that 3rd command center, and he's going to go up to at least 5 factories here. So he's really doing a heavy commit to this mech play. And I think it's going to be strong. Like he's going to be able to get quite a few tanks and Goliaths out here and have a very strong push coming out in a couple of minutes.
I just want to mention this Goliath killed 3 more drones, being on 5 HP.
Oh no!
Because Squall did not look at this. That's really unfortunate for Squall. And now Kyuge, yeah, as you said, he's really committing heavily to the mech play, and he just killed the first 2 lurkers. What is there for Squall? I'm not sure. He has 2 lurkers here in front of the natural. Maybe those are on hold position. Yes, they are. Is there any scan? Yeah, there are scans.
He does have one scan. He's going to use that now. Going to be able to clean these up, probably. The lurkers did a lot of damage there to this little push out.
Yes.
Oh, that lurker survives with 8 HP when the scan runs out, so he will have to move back. But it's still okay for Terran, like trading out those Zerg units. It's going to force Zerg to keep making more units. And Terran seems to be in a very good position at the moment.
Yeah, okay, let's look at the big picture here. What are the upgrades? We have 0-0 for the mech with no upgrade started. So this could be a problem a few minutes into this game. A few more minutes into this game. Okay, just now starting this first upgrade. And meanwhile, on the other side, Squall is still going for his lurkers and hydralisks. Are there any upgrades? We have the... Oh, +2 already. +2 attack researching for the ranged units. So Squall a little bit ahead in that regard.
Yeah, that could definitely play a factor. We actually see our Terran player here noticing or realizing that after he started his +1, he instantly threw down another armory and his science facility. He's like, okay, I really need to get my upgrades growing. I can't believe I forgot them. It's like that panic moment, like, oh no, I forgot upgrades. Shoot, I gotta get them going as quickly as possible here. But still, I mean, he's still in a fine position. We can see he's up about 30 supply here. He's pushing out with another kind of decent sized force. Now, this can kind of be risky in a lot of cases if you're pushing out without a critical mass of units, but because of the damage he's done early on and the continuous pressure he's put, it should be okay. Although he was move commanding, he lost 3 tanks there for almost free. That's pretty unfortunate for him, actually.
Yeah, that's a big deal here. And now he is running into that lurker. Where's the scan? There's no scan. Okay, there it is.
Alright, lurker does go down. He scans on top of the ramp and sees one lurker there, but decides to back up. Maybe thinking too many of my Goliaths are damaged, I'm not going to be able to break it. And with the reinforcements, Zerg would be able to defend that anyway. Now, yeah, I was saying, you know, okay, he was in a good spot. Pushing out with a small army was okay in this position, just because of the early damage and advantage he gave himself. But losing those tanks for free kind of hurts. Like, I would like to see him maybe just regroup and make next push that he comes out with be a little bit bigger, have a few more units.
Yes. But he's pushing again, so he's definitely he definitely thinks 1 tank is enough. If Squall surrounds or flanks his army with Hydras, I don't think 1 tank is enough, so this could be a problem. He's laying a lot of mines, so if Squall is not on top of his overload movement, that could be very effective. Let's see.
Alright, Overlord is coming out. Oh, no, mine takes out 1 Hydra, but that's not a ton. He does have Hydras at the top, so he's going to be able to set up a flank here. Hydras, I would almost like to see the Hydras pick off that tank. They're in range, but he is instead going to pick up those Vultures, but he looks like he's going to clean up this army. No problem, and this is kind of what we said earlier, like, why I didn't really like this necessarily, this push out with such a small army. Like, imagine if he had this group of army coming across now with that. Like, Terran's army is all ranged, so the more units you have, the stronger it gets proportionately. Like, you know, something like 2 tanks are more than twice as good as 1 tank kind of deal. So the bigger the army, the stronger it gets. And yeah, I think that was a little bit of an overextension from him. We'll have to see if that comes back to haunt him or if he can still press forward and win this game.
Yeah, he just lost another tank, so it really looks like these move outs are not doing him any favors. He also has not started mining at his 4th base so far, not sending SCVs there, not building any defensive structures. And his upgrades, okay, for example, the 2nd upgrade is not starting, so I really would love to see him take a step back here, get everything in his base going, and then do a bigger push. But he's still pushing, and this time it was a nice fight for him.
Yeah. He's still, I mean, he's got a position. His tanks were already sieged up. He had a few more tanks this time, which is really what you need to fight against the Hydralisks. There's some siege tanks in there. So it looks like he's going to sit back there, wait for some reinforcements to regroup here. And now I'm liking this a little bit better. But like I was getting worried there for him with all these constant kind of smaller attacks. But it looks like he's realized this and he's starting to gather a bigger army before his next push out now.
Yeah. So can Squall do the necessary flank? It looks like the Terran army is just a little bit too big here. And yeah, Squall is not in a good position. He is not in a position to kill the tanks. First Hydras are already dying here, and I don't see how Squall wants to defend this attack, to be honest.
Well, if you look at his natural, he has a bunch of queens there. There's not quite enough energy for some of them. 3 of them almost have enough energy. A couple other ones just popped out. So he's going to be able to pick off at least 3 of those tanks with those queens if he can get them over there. But I don't know if that's going to be enough still. There's quite a few tanks and Goliaths left over here. And he's only fighting with part of his army at a time here. Like, he's just sending his Hydralisks in to die to the army at the moment.
Oh, 1 queen already dying. Only 2 tanks got picked off, but it looks like he can finish off the last tanks. But will it be enough? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. He does just barely pick off that last tank. There's still a few Goliaths here and a couple tanks actually back sieged up at that base. And Cougar's kind of got like groups of units all over. I think if he just groups them all up, he'd be able to push into the Zerg base. And I don't think Zerg can really do anything to defend it. There's just such a big army and supply advantage now for Terran. If you look at, he's almost double the supply here. And Zerg is just barely defending these smaller attacks as is. Now this big Terran mech army is moving across the map, and I honestly don't think Squall has enough to defend.
Yes, and I mean he really has to crush an army here because there are more and more armies coming from Cougar. He is on 4 bases. He has more production at this point, I think. The upgrades are also going for our Terran here, and I think this could seal the deal here.
Yeah. We do have another queen flying in, but that does not have energy for a broodling. And it's probably just going to get picked off from these Goliaths. Okay, he does save it, but it's not enough. He realizes no chance. He GG's out. And Kuga takes it 2-0, which means we have a TVT in the winners match, but that also means at least 1 Terran will advance out of this group. We do have a Terran in the round of 8. That's nice to see.
I want to see some hype for all the Terrans, from all the Terrans in the chat. Come on, guys. Terran in the round of 8. So nice.
Is this going to be like last season where we had just 1 Terran through like a multiple rounds, but he went all the way and won it?
Yeah, maybe.
That's pretty funny. All right, well, yeah, Terran in the round of 8 guaranteed. Possibility that we get both. I mean, they both won their match, so they're both looking strong in their group.
Yes, and we'll find out which of our 2 Terrans in this group will be the Terran in the round of 8. I mean, we could still see both of them go through as well, but we'll find out the first one here in this next match, the winners match between Reyna and Kuge. And the first map of this best of 3 will be Blue Bastic Demon, also known as Demonio Azul.
Yep.
And almost ready here with the overlay. 1 second. And now we are ready to jump into this game. Let's go. In the bottom left of Demonio Azul, we have our green Terran coming from the first match. It is Reyna.
All right, and in the bottom right we have our, I believe that's Terran,
Yes.
German Terran, Kuga. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it quite right, but something like that.
I mean, to be honest, we all have no idea how this name is pronounced, and I think even he himself maybe doesn't know, because he just used his name for this tournament. He's usually Ratatatateng.
Okay, interesting. No, I wondered if it was like some kind of German word or a German name of some sort, and I was just mispronouncing it or something.
It's
So,
not, but I'm using the German pronunciation, Huge.
okay.
That's how I would say it, but to be honest, we don't know for sure.
All right, interesting. But yeah, we have our first and possibly only TVT series here with the lack of Terrence in Gosuleague. So I know it's not everyone's favorite matchup, but hey, we got to enjoy it while we got it since it's maybe the only one we get. Looks like we do have an early Rax coming out here. It's just a proxy Rax. It's just an 11 Rax. This isn't anything to necessarily get too excited about. You will see this happen fairly often in TVT, where one or both Terrans will just build that somewhere out on the map. Um, that's because Marines aren't usually that useful. You'll get like one, two, maybe even three Marines just to help, kill the bunker or not bunker. Sorry, the opponent's barracks, and then use your barracks for scouting. So we're just going to see him maybe build a couple of Marines out of this and then lift it off to use it as almost like an extra health overlord to scout the Terran build of his opponent.
Yeah. There are two ways. One is really the scouting move that you just mentioned, but the other one is catching your opponent off guard with like 3 Marines against 1, because some Terrans like to maybe be a bit greedy and not make that many Marines, and we can definitely see Reyna not producing a single Marine here. So if Kuge produces more than one, it could be dangerous. But okay, it's not the case. Oh, okay, actually it is. So he's queuing up the second one. Meanwhile, Reyna going for the first one. So I'm not sure how this will play out. Will Reyna stop after the first one or not?
Looks like he's actually sending his first Marine back to his base. Gonna try and pick off that SCV, but won't be able to stop it. SCV will get in, see the factory, see no barracks, so he'll just assume, okay, barracks is out on the map somewhere. That's fine, whatever. Um, However, we do see the continued Marine production, like you said. So third Marine has been built. So it looks like he wants to try and maybe put on some pressure. I don't think Rayner's going to take any damage. I mean, his factory is almost done. He's going to be able to get a Vulture out very quickly, and a Vulture will just destroy Marines no problem. So.
Oh, nice fight here by Kugo on the high ground of this ramp. Takes this fight very easily, 2 against 2. And now with the third Marine coming, and Reyna not producing a third Marine at all, this could definitely do a little bit of damage. Of course, oh yeah, even forcing Reyna to cancel his machine shop here to get the Vulture out. So this is already damage done by Kuge.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might be able to get some damage done here because we have the add-on going first. But realizing this, he is gonna cut that add-on off so he can get his Vulture out quicker. And with the Vulture out, I think he's gonna be perfectly fine now. Vulture can kill a bunch of Marines, so the rush is basically ended. Although we do have another Vulture coming across here, and he is gonna have that advantage on the damage. So his Vulture could kill Rayner's Vulture, but Rayner is continuing to produce Vultures. And now he's actually going to be able to pick off Kuga's Vulture here.
Oh, this one Vulture not shooting! And that's why Kuge can take off this one Vulture. And yeah, a little bit of damage done. He also started his command center way earlier. We saw Reyna going up to like 700 minerals before starting this. So this attack not only killed 2 SCVs or 3 SCVs and the Vulture, it also delayed the command center because Reyna was busy fighting. So if Reyna cannot do some counter damage here, and it looks like he can't, this is a small advantage for Kuge here.
Yeah, very good point. We did a question in the chat. Rayner from Bolivia. Yes, it is. He is from Bolivia. Repping that bull tag, which is a Bolivian clan, I do believe. Nice little move here. Cute little move here from Kuga, landing his barracks there in the choke of Rayner, so he can't really get any Vultures out. It takes Vultures a long time to actually kill that barrack, so he can just kind of set it there and delay any further units coming out from Rayner for a little bit while he sets up his own defenses and gets his own units out.
Yeah, to be honest, this is a very big deal because now he can actually delay this expansion for so long because he has the Vulture advantage here. Even the tanks that is finishing for Reyna cannot go through here. And I have seen this strategy being used a few times already. For example, while casting the best of the best tournament, it happened there like 3 times already, and it's always a win for the player who's doing it. So yeah, this is a big deal here. So you can see even the command center was not even finished, so he cannot even lift that and use it for SUV production or anything, and now the vultures get in, so all going downhill here for Reyna.
Yeah, that command center was so close to being finished too. It's like a tick away, you know. Like, meanwhile, I mean, he is gonna clean up these vultures, but not before the damage is done. Like, look at this. Hugo's way ahead. You can look at the supplies. He's ahead 12 SCVs already. He's been mining from his natural. He's getting his natural gas up. Like, this looks really good for our German Terran here at the moment. Nice to see Raynor kind of did the same thing back to him, which is going to deny any more vultures from getting out from Kyuga, which will allow Raynor to eventually, you know, break out and take his natural here. But he's been so delayed that the damage has been done. It's such a good advantage for Kyuga now.
Yeah. Yeah, the worker count alone is so different. It's such an insane advantage in that early in the game.
Yeah. Now, one thing Raynor does have going for him here is he does have a starport finished and a dropship on the way. I don't think Kyuga saw this, so this could potentially do some damage. We'll have to see what he wants to load up here. It's going to be 2 tanks. It's going to be just the Goliaths. Looks like probably 4 Goliath drop. And if he's not ready for this, it could definitely do some damage, kill some SCVs to try and get back in this game or even up the worker count a little bit here.
Yes, there's no defense here in the main base. And so the question is, will he actually move out his units? So if the units are staying like this in the natural, he has a pretty short path defending. But if he moves them out, then he will take a lot more damage. But looks like he's just staying here. So he will see the units come in and probably defend it well enough. Let's see.
All right, well, here comes the drop. Goliaths being unloaded. We are going to kill that SCV building the academy. Quick depot thrown down there, maybe trying to block them from getting in. But it is forcing an SCV pull, so lost mining time. He hasn't killed too many SCVs yet. I'd almost like to see him maybe try and pick off that armory instead of that depot.
Yeah.
But seeing the tanks come back, he is going to fly out. Doesn't want to lose those. So yes, he got a little bit of damage done, but I don't think it's enough to necessarily even the position quite yet.
Yes. So what are the next moves here? Usually TVT. I mean, it's one of the rarest matchups, so I guess we can mention that TVT usually it's a lot of positioning. So the positioning of the units, of the tanks, is very important, more important than army positioning in other matchups probably. So what you want to do as a Terran, you want to cut off certain parts of the map from your opponent. So that's usually how the mid game and also the late game works in TVT. But so far, nobody's doing it. Okay, but just as I say that, Kyuga is actually moving out the tanks now.
Yeah. Looks like we do have Goliath going to try and pick off that new barracks that was built, and we'll probably get it. Tanks are maybe trying to come save the day, but at least he's going to get that barracks burning down. But yeah, going back to what you said. Okay, hold that thought for a second. Tanks come in. Looks like he's actually going to catch these Goliaths now. Pick those off. So nice little pickup, some more for units. And we do have 2 more drop ships kind of at the bottom of the map. I don't know if Kyuga quite saw that or not. We got 2 tanks, 4 Goliaths here, and okay, he does know this is coming. He's already pulled the SCVs and bringing some army back to defend it.
Yeah, very nice reaction here by Kyuga. And with that, yeah, he sieges the tanks and can probably pick off the units very easily here.
Yeah, with both tanks down, it shouldn't be too hard to clean up the rest of this army from Raynor. Very good reaction from him. You got that siege out first. Looks like he tried to push in at the natural here, but there's just too many tanks. That said, he is going to get that kind of contain up going up here. And this is going to make it really hard for Raynor to break out. Like the longer this goes on and the the worse it can kind of get too for Reyna. So he's going to want to break out sooner than later. Looks like he's trying to inch forward a little bit. I don't know about that. He took some damage on one of his tanks, loses it. One tank for one tank, I guess, is an okay trade here. Maybe we'll get that second one, not quite. So I would almost like to see him, go for a push out and bust out, but pull some SCVs to do it just to break the tanks. Because he really doesn't want to let Kyuga get a contained setup on him into his natural base. So that just gives him full control over the map. Looks like, okay, with the dropships, he will be able to clean up. He did load some SCVs in there too to help clean up, but didn't really need them. He will clean this off, so he will be at least able to get out onto the map for now.
Yeah, and that was a very good trade for Reyna. I think he picked off like 3 more tanks in the end of this fight without any counter damage being done from Kyuga's units. So, I mean, he killed 5 tanks and only lost like 1 of them. So, 1 to 5 tanks is a very good trade. And now, if we also look at the worker count, it's pretty much evened out. We saw Kyuga being ahead like 12 or maybe even 15 workers earlier. And now we are pretty much in an even spot again. So Reyna fighting back here very nicely.
Yeah, he also has his third command center down. He hasn't lifted it off, started mining or anything yet. But Kyuga's only just started his. Not quite a third of the way done there yet. So if Raynor lifts that up, he could start mining his third a little bit earlier, catch up in total resources. We also see him pooling a bunch of drop ships. So it looks like he wants to set up for maybe kind of a doom drop situation or a very dropship heavy game where he could just move his army around a little bit, makes his army a little bit more mobile. He can drop on top of his opponent's army, or he can go for some kind of big doom drop in his opponent's base, killing off a bunch of depots, killing off the main command center, any damage he can get done. We actually even have a command center being started now for Raynor at the 12 o'clock position, but there is an SCV, so he is perfectly aware of this.
Yeah. And yeah, the command center of Reyna is now flying to another gas base here. It was a lot earlier, but now Kyuga's command center is also done. Oh my god, yes. Catches the shuttles here, at least one of them, the dropship, sorry. And now he not only killed a dropship and a few units inside, he also knows that this was a possibility and knows that that was Reyna's plan and can prepare here with additional turrets, with moving his vultures, Goliaths. And yeah, very nice defense here by Kyuga.
Yeah, we can already see that's kind of what he's doing. He's throwing up a couple of turrets. That was actually a pretty key big moment here. Had he gotten all those units into the main and was able to unload them, he would have been able to do quite a bit of damage to him, because tanks, like a bunch of tanks, are not an easy thing to clean up. Meanwhile, we do have some Wraiths here pushing forward with a big group of units for Kyuga. Does Raynor have enough to hold this off?
Oh my god, it doesn't look like that's the case. Only 1 Goliath. He also lost all the dropships now. And his tanks were not in position here. And now this is a super good spot for Kyuga. And all of those tanks on the right side will just die to the race here.
Yeah, we do have SCVs fighting. Like, he's got SCVs repairing a tank in the back. He's got SCVs kind of fighting. We got SCVs running across the map because they can't start mining. So getting stuck kind of on his depot. He's just going to get picked off from some of these tanks. So a lot of damage going down here. It looks like he killed all of the army here for Kyuga except for the Wraiths, which are just going to continue to hammer away at these tanks and maybe pick off a couple more before they have to retreat.
Okay, Kyuga loses 2 Wraiths with 2 shots of the Goliath, so that's nice for Reyna. But still, that was a lot of damage being done. A lot of SCVs also died. We see the worker count was even. Now it's again 50 ahead for Kyuga. And he also has his third base mining. Only 1 SCV in gas, so he has to fix that soon. Okay, just doing it now, perfect. And Reyna is still not fully mining at his third base, so gas is not taken. SCVs are just now being transferred. So this should be a nice advantage for Kyuga, and he's also securing the fourth base already.
Yeah, command center's floating over there now, about to take that, get that going. And it's a key base as well. Like, it's kind of the base between them. He's going to get that gas right away because gas is very important in this matchup. It's maybe even the most important matchup to have gas. Like, a lot of times you will see TVTs that go long where the Terrans have like a huge mineral bank but just no gas. Right? You'll see games where they have 4 or 5k minerals but just zero gas because making vultures aren't really worth it once you start getting good numbers of tanks and Goliaths out. So that's another reason why we don't even see these Terrans taking these mineral bases is like we don't need the minerals, we need the gas.
Yeah.
Eventually, if the game goes on long enough, they will take them. I mean, they will have to take them. But for now, they're just like focusing on these gas expansions. And this game is like kind of getting into this split situation where it may come down to who can get the other two gas bases at the top of the map, right? Like which Terran is able to secure the other main and natural. If one Terran is able to get those two bases, they're more likely to win because they're going to have more gas. They're going to be able to produce more tanks and Goliaths. But will it get to that point? I don't know. Like we've had a lot of fighting here at the bottom, and it looks like Raynor is ready to move out with quite a large Goliath tank army here.
Yeah, but meanwhile, 3 dropships here at the top of the map, ready to fly into Reyna's third base, and there are no tanks covering the top half of this base. So if Kyugi can unload here and siege his tanks, he can completely deny mining here. And let's see. SCVs are being pulled. Can they do something? Tanks are repositioning. But this looks like a lot of damage done for Kyugi again.
Yeah, nice positioning. Picked off some SCVs, but the other SCVs do help clean that up. Pretty good at dealing with tanks. Meanwhile, what are the upgrades? Okay, it looks like 1-0 for Raynor. Did we have a 2-0 on the other side? Oh no, it's still 1-0. So I'm a bit disappointed or sad to see that they don't have 2-0 yet, because that is very key upgrade in this matchup. Having 2-0 allows tanks to two-shot other tanks, which makes the defensive positioning or attacking positioning that much stronger, especially if your opponent only has one. Versus like 1-0 versus 2-0. Where are the armories even? We don't even have 2-0 being upgraded for Raynor.
Yeah, he needs a science facility for that, but he doesn't have one. So he just finished his 1-1, so he finished his +1 armor, but he's so far away from even starting the +2 because he doesn't have a science facility. So Kyugi will have a very nice upgrade advantage, even if it's only one upgrade. But as you mentioned, this second attack upgrade for the tanks is so important that this plays a big role in this matchup and makes a big difference. So Kyugi will have that advantage, and I mean Kyugi is ahead in this game anyways, even if you look at the worker count or the base count or the supply. So yeah, could he actually get into a game finishing position here? Let's see.
Yeah, it's potential. Like Raynor's army was way out of position here, so Kyuga's going to be able to get all his tanks kind of sieged up here. He's got the vultures that are just going to kill all those SCVs, and now Raynor's going to have to attack into an already sieged up position here of Kyuga. Even if he cleans up this army, he's going to take a lot of damage. Will he get it done? He's actually trading pretty well here. If those tanks had 2-0, maybe they would have done a lot more damage. But yeah, I'm actually surprised how well he cleaned that up.
Yeah, some of the tanks of Kyugu were not sieged, so I think that's a little problem. He sieged them a little bit late while the fight was already going on, so that definitely played a role. But also, we have to remember that Kyugu is ahead over 20 workers, so the supply difference we see is mostly in workers and not in army. So the army of Reina is actually fine.
Okay, we do have him moving in to take this 6 o'clock position. If he could deny this base, that'd be very good for him. I did see some drop ships for Kuga. I don't know where they went. Okay, they're flying back now to try and help deal with this tank army of Raynor. Looks like he will be able to get into position to probably take out or at least deny this base for a little while. Now, what's the play here for Kyuga? Looks like he's trying to set up a multi-pronged attack. He's going to move in with the dropships and a couple control groups of army here. Will he be able to take this fight?
I think he will be. I think he has way more units here. And some of the units are not in position for Reina. And this should be an easy defense for Kyuga. But those 3 tanks on the high ground could change... Okay, never mind. They are not changing anything. Reina GG's and Kyuga takes it 1-0.
Yeah, nice play. That GG timing did seem like maybe a little early. I mean, yes, I will say Kyuga was ahead, but I think there was still some play there. He could have definitely still fought back. Maybe he was thinking I don't want to play a long TVT. I'm a little bit too far behind. I don't want to play, this TVT from behind. I'll just take my chances in the next game.
Yeah, I mean the supply difference was 60, so it was 160 to 100 in the end after Kyuga cleared that army. So I think, yeah, there was a very small chance that Reina can win, but of course he doesn't see the supply numbers. So I think as well in his position, I would definitely stay in the game a little bit longer. But let's see, maybe he can turn the match around in the second game. And that will be on Polypoid. So Polypoid is
Ooh.
our second game here, second map. And Kyuga is only 1 game away from advancing in first place into the round of 8.
Oh, that's right. Can he do it here? I guess we'll find out. Oh, Polypoid, very. This map can. I know I have some Terran friends that say this map just leads to super long games in TVT a lot of the time because like there's so many high ground bases. They're all like you kind of defensible. You get your tanks set up there, and it's really hard to break positions. Like even then, you're not on the high ground. Anywhere you kind of move through the map is going to be able to easily be defended by a few tanks. So we could be in for a long game, or we could be in for a short game. Maybe someone realizes I don't want to play a long game. I'm going to go all in, or I'm going to do something aggressive. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. In the top left, we have our green Terran. He has to win 2 games in a row if he wants to advance now. It is Reina.
All right, sharing the same side of the map in the bottom left is our German blue Terran Kyuga.
Okay,
All
so far
right.
at least no SCVs are getting sent out on the map, so we don't have any super early cheeses or so. I mean, there's definitely a possibility that we see like an 8 Rex or so as a proxy and 1 player going for that 3 Marine attack, but both players don't want to do this here, and we'll see a normal opening.
Yeah, for sure. No, this doesn't necessarily mean we can't see something aggressive coming out of either player yet. They can still do something like a 2 factory, go for like a 2 starport early rush. There's plenty of options here. Looks like Rainer's almost positioning his barracks in such a way that he can kind of wall off his choke, which you don't really see a lot of in TVT. It's kind of like if you're going to wall, it makes it feel like they're trying to hide something, right? So maybe we'll see something like Rainer wanting to do 2 Port Wraither or 2 Factory and trying to deny the scouting. Meanwhile, we do have Kyuga just building his depot kind of near his command center, building his barracks near the edge of his base so he can make a couple of Marines and float that off to do some scouting.
Yeah, yeah, the wall is definitely very interesting here. He's actually doing it, so yeah, he probably wants to deny the SCV from getting in. But I mean, he has not started his tech anyways. So Kyuga's way to scout the main base will be this barracks, but that will take a long time until it has arrived at Reina's base. So yeah, maybe as you said, Reina could go for some 2-port race here.
Yeah, seeing that wall kind of should be maybe a little bit of a red flag. But as we can see, Rainer actually pulled 2 SCVs off of gas. So he's not going to be doing anything like that. He's just going to get his factory up and probably just go for an expansion behind it. So maybe the wall is just more of a mind game. Just say, hey, I'm not going to let you scout and I'm going to make you think I'm going for 2 factory or 2 Port Wraith or something and hope that Kuka kind of over defends those possibilities and then he can get away with just taking 1 factory in his expansion and get a slight advantage that way.
Yeah, that seems to be the case here. So far, we don't see any big reaction, but it's too early for a reaction to a possible two-port race anyways. But maybe we'll see Kyuga getting an early engineering bay or so because of this wall.
Now, if he pokes up that ramp with the SCV and kind of goes towards that depot, can he see that command center being built? I don't know. I think it'd be close, but maybe not quite.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So pretty good positioning there, knowing he won't be able to scout that. He does lift off the barracks now, so there is an opportunity that something could get in. Raynor will see this SCV and should be able to deny that from getting up his ramp if he's on top of it. Okay, he will be on top of that. And just deny that scout. Just kind of keep Kyuga in the dark as long as possible.
Yes, and here we have a second factory for Reina started after that command center, and the same is true for Kyuga. So we actually have a pretty mirrored opening here for both players, with the little difference that Kyuga has his command center already in position in the natural, so he could start mining a little bit earlier here.
Yeah, the other thing I'm noticing is Kyuga's already down 3 SCVs here.
Mhm.
I guess he must have cut to do something or just forgot to make them. So, despite having the slightly earlier mining command center, Rainer's still going to be up a little bit on workers here. And now Kyuga's barracks will get into the base and see the factory, be able to scout that there's nothing too suspicious going on despite this wall. And I'm still questioning this. Like, look at how tight this wall is now at the moment. Like, it's going to be hard for him to get units in and out later in the game, especially
Yeah.
if like Kyuga takes advantage of this and does some kind of drop play. It's going to be just so hard moving tanks and units back and forth out of his main because of that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So maybe we'll see Kyuga abusing that a little bit. But yeah, maybe it's just maybe just doesn't care. Okay, 3 factory here for Reina and also 3 factory for Kyuga. So still both pretty mirrored, but that work advantage that you mentioned is a pretty big deal here, and that command center on position did not really help him even that out. Even now he's not producing SCVs, so maybe he's cutting some SCVs to get some vultures out a little bit early. But I mean, Reyna's still on 3 factories as well, so there's nothing Kyuga can really do here, and hurting his own economy for that is in this position not the right play.
And now this wall could actually come back to haunt him because look, Kyuga can land his barracks there, and he is going to do that. So because of this, Kyuga is able to abuse this and land his barracks here. Now Raynor won't be able to get more units out. So Kyuga even has a 4th factory now as well. He's going to be able to outproduce vultures. I'm actually a little bit worried because after another round of vultures or two, Kyuga could actually run in here and deny a lot of mining, kill all the vultures of Raynor, and Raynor won't be able to get his out. Yeah, he actually realizes this. Look, you can see Raynor killing his own supply depot, realizing he's actually in trouble here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big problem, and Kyuga is winning this vulture fight. I mean, he had a little bit problems fighting from low ground to high ground, but in the end, the numbers are in Kyuga's favor. And yeah, this again, I can't believe that we see this landed barracks decide so many games here. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's a good tactic in TVT, but as we can see that we were questioning his motivation behind this wall, and as we can see in this game, it actually backfired on him. It worked against him, and Hyuga took advantage of that fact, and because of that, it looks like he's just going to snowball into the victory, and there it is, GG. Hyuga wins 2-0.
Wow, that's just crazy. It feels like more than half of the TVTs I've casted in the past few weeks were decided by landed barracks. I wait for the point where Terrence actually just plays an SCV below a floating barracks and be safe. But so far, Hyuga advances. Our first Terran in the round of 8.
Nice to see. Now, of course, Raynor isn't eliminated either. He will be in the final match. So there's still a chance we get a second Terran in there. Who he plays, we don't know yet. We'll find out. It'll be the winner of Squall versus NBA, which will be coming up right now or coming up next year.
Yes, and that will be a PvZ, of course. We have all the matchups today, except CVZ and PvP, but all the non-mirror matchups at least. So
Yeah.
that's very nice.
Yeah, good variety in this group. It does make it harder for the players to prepare if they have to practice, 2 or 3 different matchups. But it makes it better for the viewers, I think, getting a good variety. Better for the casters too, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah.
Interesting map here. Blade Runner.
That is indeed interesting. But I have to say, the map is not super crazy. It's still pretty standard, so I can definitely see players are fine playing it. Usually players tend to not pick maps that they are not familiar with from the ladder, but Blade Runner is a map that is shaped pretty normally, so yeah, a lot of players picking it. Okay, and now we have the game loaded, and here we are in the losers match between NBA and Squall on Blade Runner. So in the bottom right, we have our Zurich from Spain, Squall.
Do you want to do a shift tab here? That gray might be a little bit harder to see.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so Squall in blue
Okay.
here.
All right, and in the bottom left, we have, I believe he's from Chile, if I remember
Yes.
correctly, DMNBA, our red Protoss. So yeah, there are some interesting features on this map for sure. We do have kind of that whiteout style foresty area in some spots where you can't really see or have good vision without air units, right? So I expect to see we'll see some kind of we'll see like Corsairs coming out of NBA. Definitely want to get some Overlord speed quickly coming out of Squall, just so they can kind of make sure they have air units with their army to not get taken advantage of in some of these positions. Another thing here, interesting thing, is they are sharing the bottom of the map, which also means they have this kind of fourth base at 6 o'clock between them that can be accessed from either side. We'll have to see if that comes into play here if the game goes long enough. And then we also have these like stacked power generators. Kind of makes this choke a little bit smaller, but not super effective. Like they don't play a huge role. We did see somebody kill him in one game. I think it like Tim versus Dark maybe, where Dark was
Yes.
killing them, but I don't think they had too much of an effect either way. It was just
No.
kind of interesting to see. Um, but other than that, like you said, it does play kind of straightforward, kind of normal map. So yeah, we'll see what the players want to go for here.
Yep. Yeah, so far we see an early pull by Squall, getting that hatchery, was not blocked here by the probe. And but the probe is hiding. It looks like Squall actually does not know that the probe is inside the base here. Okay, but NBA reveals it early. I love to just let the probe stay there and scout in the main base like 3 minutes from now again. But yeah, he reveals it here, and that means Squall will chase this probe out. And meanwhile, on his side, he's just going for the standard Forge Fast Expand.
Yeah, we got two lings going to the top left. I don't know what that's about. Like the drone definitely saw the base in the bottom left, so I don't know where these lings are going. Interesting. Maybe he just had them rallied there before he scouted and never grabbed them or sent them back. One thing I will notice or say about NBA's build is he did actually go. He did do like 13 cannon, 13 Nexus, 13 cannon, like you might normally see against Overpool. He did go for 14 cannon, 15 Nexus, which is still fine against Overpool. It's just only slightly slower, and it can be good when the rush distance is shorter or you're a little bit unsure. Just get that cannon up a little bit quicker, and it's only slightly worse than the 13-13. Meanwhile, looks like pretty standard stuff. He's got a cyber core already on the way. But on the Zerg side, we're actually going for 3-hatch Hydra. So he's going to look to either put on some early pressure or at least force some cannons, maybe pick off the wall. Oh, but hold that thought. We got some Lings running in here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, who will be able to defend. They don't get into the main, so not too much damage done there for either side.
Yeah, and we see a Hydralisk then actually for Squall, and there's a drone blocking, but I'm not sure if that's in the correct position. I think the probe can actually pass here, and it does. So now NPA with all the scouting information he needs, and now it should be an easy task for him to actually survive this. So the question is, will Squall still go for the Hydrobust here?
Yeah, we'll have to see the reaction. He can always just go, like, this isn't necessarily end of the world for him, right? He can still just go something like 6 Hydras, move them across the map, pick off the wall, and expand again himself behind it. Something called, 9734 that got very popular. We do have a Zealot actually that snuck in here and missed it into the natural of Squall, trying to getting a drone kill, but so far he got nothing done. And with this many lings out, he should be able to pick that off.
Yes, no damage done here, but the scouting was very nice already. But so far we don't see. Okay, just now the first Hydra is actually being produced. The speed for the Hydralist is researched in the den first. So we will probably get the range afterwards and still go for the Hydralists.
We do have a Dragoon coming out here from NBA. Seeing that Overlord's still in his main base, he just thought, okay, I'm going to make a Dragoon so I can kill this and push this out. We already have 3 cannons up and done for NBA, so don't think these lings are going to be able to run in there. But he's probably just going to save them later for a bust, although we do have another Zealot sneaking in. I keep missing these Zealots. Where are they coming from?
I don't know. Warped in from Ire.
Yeah. Too bad we couldn't do that, hey? Warp in a Zealot on a random spot of the map.
Okay, and this Zealot is actually getting another nice scouting information. Oh, and Squall actually cancels his lair. I'm not sure if that's a good decision, to be honest, because yeah, okay, now he hides the fact that he goes for a lair, but as a Protoss, you love seeing that there's no lair because you can just make more cannons and you're totally fine, and you know that the lair is still far away. You don't need corsairs, you don't need cannons in your mineral line against possible Mutalisk.
Even observers can be delayed.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
everything, yeah. So it's actually great for Protoss to not see a lair here. So I'm not sure about this cancel. So I think NBA is in a great position, but still has to be careful against this Hydro Force, of course.
Yeah, how far along was the lair done? I didn't actually see it start, do you know? Like, was it half done or something when he canceled it?
It was like 1/3.
Okay. Yeah, like if he just started it or something, maybe I could see the cancel, but if it's like that, maybe not. Like, but it looks like we're gonna see what we were talking about. Squall just making, a small hand fruit full of Hydras here, just so he can pick off the wall. See if he can maybe stop the +1 from finishing. That would be a big pick off if he could. There are quite a few Zealots and a Dragoon here, so he may actually be able to stop him from picking off this Forge, but we'll see.
Yeah, so this forces NBA to react and engage the Hydras here because he wants to save his +1, of course. But he has all the units he needs for this. Only 4 more Hydras left. So this Forge will survive. And what is the plan for Squall here? He is actually going for a Spire somewhere. Okay, in the natural here, halfway done already. And also has a second gas mining and a lot of gas banked up. So it looks like we see a Mutalisk switch here. And without any Corsair out for NBA, he will not scout it. But he's now going for that attack with the speed finishing. So maybe he can use his army to actually scout what Squall is doing.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Squall is being forced into making some colonies here and some more units to defend this before he can make those mutas. Like, ideally, he wanted to save these larvas for Mutalisks, I think. But now he's making the Hydras because he does not want to reveal it, which does buy NBA some more time. He's going to poke here a couple spots with the Zealots, but it looks like he's not going to find anywhere he can really do damage. So nice defense and held on there for Squall. So he's going to be in a pretty comfortable position here. And the Mutas could potentially now catch NBA off guard, right? We were questioning that canceled lair, but now he has no idea that there's even a lair or anything. Like, he has nothing really in place to defend a potential bunch of Mutas coming across the map. And we do see now that Squall has started to produce those Mutalisks.
Yes, and yeah, that is definitely a problem. Those Zealots that were attacking, they did not go far enough into the natural to see the lair. And now he will be totally surprised by those Mutalisks. Oh, this is okay. The probe scouts them at least, so he can pull his probes already.
Yeah, it gives him a little bit of time. He instantly throws down a cannon, but there's no way that's going to be able to finish in time to defend these mutas. Okay, he does morph an Archon at the natural with his High Templar. So once that's done, he is going to be able to get into the main and try and hold these off or push these mutas back. Not before taking some damage here, though. He is definitely losing some probes. And a lot of lost mining time because of this muta switch here.
Oh, and some High Templars also dying. First High Templars down, second High Templars also down. So these Mutalisks already paid off, killing some more probes in the natural now. No cannons to be seen. I mean, he had some time to build cannons in the natural, but he did not. So this is still a problem for NBA here.
Yeah, we're getting some nice damage done for Squall. His bank is getting a little bit high during this. He did spend it. He did get over 1,000 minerals, which it's nice if you're doing damage, but if you're not keeping up with your own build at the same time, you're doing damage to yourself while doing damage. So it kind of negates it a little bit, but he is spending that money now, and I still think this damage was definitely worth it for him here.
Yeah, and the damage is not stopping. He's still killing units. He's killing some zealots here, and the cannons are still not finished in the main. But at least there's an Archon. But he could fly in here. Okay, he's not. So now the cannons will finish, and the damage is probably over. At least the damage to the economy, but he can still use the Mutalisks later on to snipe some additional High Templars, for example, because he didn't really lose them. He lost maybe one Mutalisk or so. So this tech switch really paid off for him.
Oh, Storm killing more probes than the mutas. Storm going down trying to get those mutas, and this is kind of the problem when you try and storm the mutas. Sometimes you get your own probes. And we can actually see in the worker count now, like NBA has lost a lot of probes here. He's down to even 11 workers on the Zerg. I was going to say one thing that's going for him is Zerg doesn't have a fourth base yet, but now Zerg has started that fourth base. We do have lurkers being researched as well, just finishing up now. So he's going to have lurkers out. And I don't think, the robo isn't even finished, so it's going to be a while before any obs can get out here. So he's going to be perfectly fine. If you're Squall in this position, you're feeling good about your spot in the game.
Yes, I just want to say, NBA has a pretty big army now. The Mutalisks are not dead, so he has to go across the map and do some counter damage because his economy is so bad. But then you mentioned that the lurkers are finished and he doesn't have an observer, so this option is not there. And the only thing that NBA can do now is use his army to secure another expansion and hope that Squall doesn't get lurkers into place here.
Yeah, and he's actually taking this expansion kind of at 6, which is not that far from Zerg's bases here. Like Zerg could get up there and deny this if he knew about it. Unfortunately for him, he does not know about it at the moment. So if if NBA can get this up, he can get some cannons in place, maybe even a Templar or two up there to help defend it, then he should be able to hold it for a while and get that third base up and running, which is going to be key for him as he's starting to run a little bit low of minerals, especially in his main base here.
Yeah. I want to quickly mention a big thank you to Eon Zerg for raiding with a party of 82 people. So thanks a lot, Eon Zerg, and welcome to all the new viewers. You are seeing the BSL 11 Gosuleague round of 16 here with Group B, and this is currently the losers match.
Yeah, that's right. Game number 1 in the losers match. Now we do have a Squall pushing forward some more, but critically he still doesn't have an observer with his army, so he's not really going to be able to get any damage done. He pushes in a little bit, maybe he can get some storms off, but seeing those lurkers there, he is going to have to back up for now until that first observer does get across the map. He is sending it now, but this is just buying Squall more time. And as we can see, supplies are pretty even. NBA has caught back up in that worker count a little bit, but this is still looking really good for Squall. He's got 4 bases mining very well. He's got units everywhere, lurkers in position, sunken's going up. Like, yes, the third base is now done for NBA, but this isn't looking great for him still in this position.
Yeah, but I mean he's definitely with evening out the worker count and getting the third base up, he's definitely removing a lot of his disadvantage here. And one thing I want to mention is the upgrades are very strong for NBA. So he's on 2-2 upgrades. He has a second forge in the main that he was using for upgrades. And the 3-2 is actually halfway done. Meanwhile, on Squall's side, the Zerglings are still 0-0. And the Hydralisks or Lurkers are only 1-0. So huge upgrade advantage for NBA. So maybe his army can actually do well even if he is not in the best position supply-wise in a PvZ.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to point out. I actually noticed the upgrades for NBA earlier, and he's sending a group of zealots here thinking maybe there's a base in the top right. Like Zerg's had enough time that he could have, 5 or 6 bases up by now. But he'll be happy to see the zealots be up here, happy to see that there is no base for Zerg. He's like, okay, so I'm probably playing against 4 base Zerg here. And now he's taking a 4th base himself. Like, if he can get this established and get 4 base on 4 base and just kind of deny Zerg from ever getting a 5th base, he's going to all of a sudden be in a very comfortable position in this game.
Yes, and I mean the style that Squall is playing here, he's getting up to 4 bases and then taking to Hive and getting his his Hive units out. His Defiler is the choice here for Squall, and he wants to do something with those Defilers. But yeah, it looks like NBA could be in a position to really combat that. But oh my god, the Zerglings, can they deny the space? No.
Oh, the Storm.
Very nice Storm.
Yeah, Storm coming to save the day. How many times has that happened? We do have a shuttle somewhere. Okay, there it is. It's just kind of outside the natural 3rd base area. It's got 2 Dark Templars and 2 High Templars in here, but there's a lot of Zerg area and a lot of Zerg covered. I don't know if this shuttle's going to be able to get in to find the damage it wants. He does find a way to sneak in, so he's going to be able to at least unload a couple of units here in the main base. Now, Squall should be aware of this, so I don't think he's going to lose too much damage. But will he be able to save this Defiler mount in time? I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of HP, so this Defiler mount is actually going down. And meanwhile, Storm Drop in the 4th base, killing around 6 drones, I think. Yeah, Defiler mount is dead, but now the shuttle will die here. Unloading the Templars. Okay, killing 1 more drone here. Yeah, so overall, I would say a good attack by NBA.
There's still a DT in the main killing drones here.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't Squall realize this. Oh no.
That is
How
huge.
many drones is he going to get? 11 kills? 12 kills? One of those may have been the Defiler mount, but that's still big. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of an engage here. We got some Lings and Hydras pushing out. NBA smartly backing up to that high ground little area so he can take a better fight. Yeah, like this is starting to go better and better for him. We do have a counter attack at the 4th base from Squall, but that was easily held off with the cannons there. More units streaming in now. We do have a couple Defilers here. They don't have Consume yet, so they aren't able to get a Dark Swarm just yet, which is gonna buy Squall the time, or sorry, NBA the time he needs to come in and defend this. We even have a Dark Archon out, so he's gonna be able to start feedbacking or some of these Defilers, or at least using Maelstrom or something on groups of units. Very nice to see. Like, is NBA fighting back? Has he done it? Has he fought back into this game?
Yeah,
I think he's in a good position now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely ahead in this game now, killing a lot of units. Definitely very far ahead in the economy, and I think the army is also pretty nice now.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the fight goes. A couple of storms go down. We do have that Dark Archon still just hanging out. Now, if Squall can kill this army, that'd be good for him, but will he be able to? There's no Zealots here. It's just mostly Dragoons, a couple of storms. Another storm going down. I think that's all the storm he has left here at the moment. One Templar, almost another storm, but he is going to push back these Dragoons a little bit for now, but he's still fighting well.
Yeah, but need to be careful. No Observer here anymore, no Storms, Dark Archon dies, and also no Dalits anymore. Only Goonsy. I really want to see him pull back this army and then regroup with a few more Storms and additional Dalits here.
Yeah. Well, we do have a Defiler creeping its way over here. It looks like it's going to get picked off before it can do anything. Few Overlords going down there for free as well. No Observers actually with this army either. They must have got picked off. Another one flying in here now.
Yep.
Once that gets there, he's going to maybe look to put on some more pressure. But like you said, he seems to be fairly low on Zealots, so it's a little bit worrying. He is gonna. Okay, he doesn't actually have Consume down quite yet because he had to rebuild that Defiler round. But he does. I did see a couple Defilers out, and it does have enough for a Dark Swarm if these goons do decide to try and push in here.
Well, I don't know where this Defiler is actually going. It's going back into the main base
Yeah.
here with almost full energy. So there's definitely a misclick. And this could hurt him because he doesn't have another Defiler here. So yeah, that's a problem. So there's no way he can push out and overwhelm this army very easily here. But I still want to mention, no zealots. That's a problem. If Squall gets a nice flank off, he can erase his army with just mass circlings.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Especially like you really want to get more zealots in here, especially once Hive Tech and Defilers are out. Dragoons really lose a lot of their value once they can start casting swarms and plagues. Now we do have a fifth base attempt from both players. We do have Ling streaming in towards NBA's fifth base. He's going to try and pick off the Nexus, but not going to be able to get it. Enough units here to defend. Meanwhile, there's not really enough for Squall to defend his fifth base attempt. Like, this is easily going to be denied by NBA here. If NBA can continue this kind of play, like, he doesn't even have to necessarily kill the Zerg at this point or any more Zerg bases. As long as he stops Zerg from ever getting a fifth base, he should be in a good position. That said, looks like Zerg's going to react by pulling a bunch of units to try and kill that fifth base of NBA. Will he be able to get it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Defiler is nowhere to be seen. It's so far in the back of the army, and his units, his Zerglings, are already dying. So I'm not sure if he can actually get into a position where he can use this Defiler well enough.
Oh, nice storms going down there as well from NBA. So NBA or Squall just lost most of his army, or everything that he sent across anyway, for barely anything. He didn't really kill much of anything really with that. So very good trade for NBA. And now we can look at the supplies here. NBA's max for Squall is down at 100. Yeah, Squall was in a great position earlier, but now I'm not sure he can come back in this game. And I think NBA's eventually just going to run him over here.
Yeah, the focus point will be this top right position that Squall wants to take. He's sending another drone there with a few units, but if NBA catches wind of this, he has the army to easily deny this. Oh, but he's actually going into the fourth base. I'm not sure about that, but I think he has the army to do it anyways.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Meanwhile, we do have a Zerg counterattack at 6 o'clock, but it looks like there is enough there to defend it for Squall. And yeah, he is going to get up into this fourth base of Squall's before all the units get over here to help defend this. So I think he's going to be able to take out this base. And if he takes out this base, he's really going to take out Squall's chances in this game.
Actually, I'm not too sure about this.
Yeah. Okay, there's more units streaming in now, yeah.
Yeah.
Only Dragoons again. Sorry, go ahead.
Does he have another storm? Yes. Okay, there's the storm. So, okay, he might be barely able to take this down. And with that, I think the game is pretty much secured for NBA. I don't see how Squall can ever come back into this game.
Well, we do have a unit some units flanking from the back, and he actually is going to clean this army.
Yeah, I would have liked to focus this hatchery a bit earlier, but now it survives.
Yeah, but there's more units coming across, and Squall realizes, okay, yeah, I defended that attack, but I'm not going to be able to hold this one off. I'm just too far behind now, and he taps out. GG.
GG.
So well played. Yeah, I mean, I really thought Squall was going to take that game. He was in a great position early on, but then NBA fought back well. He got his third base up, he got his fourth base up, and eventually took over the game and took it down. Now that doesn't mean Squall's eliminated just yet. It just means we go into game 2. He's still got 2 chances to come back and move on to the final match.
Yes, and this second game will be on Eclipse. We have not seen Eclipse so far in this group, so that's also a nice change here. And that was picked by Squall, so yeah, Squall probably feels comfortable on a 2-player map here in CVP. I mean, he prefers this camping style, and it worked out pretty nicely in this first game, but then this drop happened where the Dark Templar got like 13 kills, and that definitely put him behind. But apart from that, I think Squall can do well in such a situation again.
Yeah.
Okay, and the game is ready. We are jumping in. Again, map is Eclipse, and in the top right corner we have our purple Dirk being one game away from being eliminated. It is Squall.
All right, in bottom left, one game away from being able to advance to the final match. It is NBA. Yeah, now Eclipse. I don't mind this for PVZ on the Protoss side, especially if I can get like my third base up and fourth base up or something. Like it's a map that you can get into kind of a split map situation if it goes to the late game, and those kind of situations can often favor Protoss. There's not like a ton of bases that Zerg can just completely take over the map. Now that said, there's still a decent number of bases. Like Zerg can still get into that kind of position, especially if they slow Protoss down early on and get an early lead. But we'll have to see. It looks like NBA is probably going to go for a gateway this time. Yeah, there
Yes.
it is. All right, so
Maybe
maybe looking to put pressure.
I think that's a decision that also depends on the map, and on a two-player map maybe feels like the rush distance is small enough that he can get some damage done, and he can also scout the Zerg
Mhm.
correctly on first try, obviously. So maybe that's why he feels a bit safer going for that gateway expansion.
Yeah, definitely. If you're doing it on like a four-player map and you scout Zerglass, sometimes you got that little bit of uneasy feeling like you don't know what he's doing exactly. You send the Zealot across and it dies to Lings, all of a sudden you find yourself in a bad spot. But here we can see he's going to get that scout being on a two-player map and actually trying to deny this hatchery from going down, and will be able to do it with placing a pylon here. So nice little harass distraction here from NBA. Just going to kind of slow Squall down, throw him off. Going to get into the main scout that there is 6 Lings being built, so probably not going to send his Zealots across the map.
Yes, you definitely want to be very careful here. Needs to put down a forge as well if he wants to defend this.
All right, Probe's coming down now, and he will throw that forge down.
Oh, the probe actually still running around here. Could block this hatchery again in the natural. That will probably come soon for Squall. And he's doing so with a pylon. But meanwhile, Zerglings get into the natural.
Yeah, Squall kind of hitting that gateway, then pulling when the Zealots came out, pulling his Lings back and getting around those Zealots, just so he can kind of scout in the main, see if he can get some harassment done. You know, force some lost mining time, kill off some probes. Anything he can kind of pick up here is going to slow Protoss down, which is very nice. And he does pick off a first probe there and continue to run his Lings around.
So this is a super late Nexus, also because of this blocking pylon that he built. And now he's actually going for a counterattack. So very action-packed game here, and we have players doing damage on both sides, basically.
Ooh. Yeah, Zerg did manage to pick off another couple of probes, and now he is going to see the Zealots coming across with that Overlord. So he should be making some more Lings. Looks like he is. He's going to need those to help defend this while continuing to do damage. So both players' multitasking skills are going to be a little bit taxed here with battles going on both sides of the map.
And now it looks like the Zerglings are finally going down. And now it's NBA's turn to do some counter damage again. We see more Zerglings being built. And oh, even a creep colony in the main base of Squall. Squall looks like he's pretty scared of this.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I'm a little unsure about that, but it's there now anyway. And yeah, I think he's going to have enough Zerglings here now to defend this. He wants to try and stop those Zealots from getting behind the minerals just so he can trade a little bit more effectively here. Looks like he is going to be able to pick off at least that first Zealot, and second Zealot's going to go down pretty easily too as well.
Yep. Gets into a good spot, but was already red HP here. But there's a third Zealot coming and even a fourth Zealot. Into the natural now. There are two Zerglings. They could block the ramp if he positions them correctly.
Yeah. Looks like not going to happen, but he is going to take a battle here with 2 Lings with both Zealots, so he's going to kill those Lings. Nice little pickup for him. Now, one thing I do want to say critically here is his Nexus still isn't quite finished, whereas Squall already has 3 hatches up, so if he defends these Zealots well without taking much damage, Squall's still going to be in quite a fine position here.
Well, I'm
This
wondering
is a
if he
late
already
Nexus.
did enough damage, because he killed a lot of Zerglings here. Again, so look at those Zealots. 8 kills on both Zealots, and they are still both in green HP, and they has forced Squall to make even more Zerglings. If we look at the worker count, even without that Nexus for NBA, he has a good worker lead here, but now he will actually lose the Zealots.
But in saying that, he does also have 2 more Zealots streaming towards the top of the map here. Might be able to get into that third and pick off a couple of drones while the Lings are distracted with the 2 Zealots in the natural. So pretty good multitasking and harass here from NBA, just continuing to send these groups of like a couple Zealots, just throwing Squall off. That said, we do have the Spire already started here for Squall, whereas Stargate is just starting okay on NBA's side as well.
Okay, and yeah, I mean, those Zealots, again, are denying the third base from being used. And now they can get a nice fight on the ramp here as well.
Are we going to have it? Oh, he tried to go for maybe a drone drill, but he did it at just the wrong time where the drones didn't actually. He will reposition, get that drone drill off, and pick off these Zealots, however. Speed just finishing now for the Lings as well, so maybe there's an opportunity to do some counter damage, but looking back, no, he's got everything all seared up at home. So.
Okay, so where's that core there? He did not get a single Zealot really into the main to scout that Spire, I think. So I'm not sure if he knows about it. But that being said, I guess he does know. Maybe I didn't see it correctly, but he's making 2 cannons in his main menu line. He is upgrading +1 air. He's building a core there, and he already has a cannon in the natural. So he's super prepared against Mutalisks.
Yeah. Now, I don't think we're going to necessarily see any Mutalisks. He doesn't have a lot of gas banked up. He didn't even take that second gas.
No.
He's making a couple of Scourge to deal with the Corsair. Going to have to be careful. These Scourge are going to pop before the Corsair gets there. So if he's not watching this Corsair, he will potentially lose it here. We'll have to see. Oh, Scourge are going to fly past the Corsair. So he is paying attention. He does realize, okay, I got to get out of here. Will the Scourge catch it, though? Oh, so close.
Yeah, will probably get back into his natural in the safety of his cannons.
Yeah, we'll make it. And good reaction there from Squall too, pulling back just in time before losing those Scourge for free to the cannons.
So, where are we in this action-packed game? What's the situation here? We have a sizable worker lead for NBA, but that said, like 2 more drones finished. So I guess it's a pretty normal situation. Meanwhile, he is still on 1, or okay, on 2 gateways, getting his +1 and also the speed. So we'll see a Zealot push, but on Squall's side we already have the Hydras then, and some Sunkens at every base.
One interesting thing I'm noticing on Squall's side is he actually started the Carapace upgrade for air weapons here, or for air units. It's about half done, so maybe he is going to plan to get some Mutalisks here in a little bit. I don't know why he would get that just for the Scourge, or the extra defense for the Overlord. So I feel like he's at least giving himself the option to get Mutalisks here at some point. And actually, now that I say that, he has started at least a couple of Mutas here.
Yeah, and guys, remember the armor upgrade for Zerg Air is also helping a lot against Corsairs. We often see talking about, yeah, the armor upgrade is very nice against Mutalisks in DVZ, but it's also very nice against Corsairs, because Corsairs shoot very quickly, so this armor upgrade can apply very often in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and well, will it come into play here for this first fight, though? Looks like it's just about to finish, but there's a lot of Zealots streaming in to the third base now. The Mutalisks are out. Scourge are going to kill a lot of these Corsairs. still 2 alive, but the Mutalisks will be able to pick those off. However, the Zealots do pick off that building there in the front. A bit of a pick off for him, but I don't think Squall's going to take terribly much more damage here. Although that said, he doesn't really have anything buffering for his Sunken here, so Zealots are going to stream into the main and maybe get a lot of damage. Now that Sunken in the main is actually going to play a key role here.
Yeah, that prediction of Squall. Oh, but he could lose the Spire here, but the armor upgrade is already finished.
Yeah, Spire does go down, which is going to be a nice pickup. I think he might have been able to save it had he got those drones under the Zealots and done a little bit of a drill there. But as it is, the Spire does go down. So no more Mutalisks for the time being. Now, that's going to make Squall or any Protoss feel happy. He's like, okay, I know I got the Spire. He's not going to have Mutalisks for a little bit other than the ones he's already got. And as we can see, there's only 5 there. So he's not going to be too afraid of that.
But I have to say, I still like this defense way more for Squall because NBA lost his 3 Corsairs and now he's actually producing more Corsairs. So he's investing so much gas into this Corsair tech, the Corsair count and also the upgrades, and he did not really get any damage done with that so far. And we can see that reflected in the position of this game. The supply is even, the worker count is ahead for a Zerg player, and there is only 1 High Templar out, for example. So I don't really like the position for NBA, but we'll see how Squall can use that fact to his advantage.
Oh, Mutas were flying in to see if they could pick off some High Templar or something, but the Archon there, he's going to get scared and back Wade, not wanting to risk losing those Archon or Mutas just for that 1 High Templar. But yeah, that's a good point. Like NBA is taking his 3rd base here, but his army is very small for this stage in the game. Squall, if he had moved across the map with all his Hydras, could maybe even like kill this army or do some damage. We are getting some more Zealots and stuff added into the mix here now. MB even throwing down some more cannons at his natural, realizing that he's maybe not in a great position. But now, great split from Squall on these Butas. We had the Corsairs kind of chasing them down, but Squall was able to do a good job splitting them all so not to take so much splash damage, and he gets out only losing maybe 1 or 2 Mutas there.
Yes, and now it looks like NBA is going across the map here. I don't think he can do anything. He can definitely not go up to up this ramp into the 3rd base against the Sunkens and so on. Maybe on an open field he can get a good fight, but there's only 1 High Templar and that doesn't have energy for a Storm, so if Squall takes all his Hydralisks, I think he can easily crush this army.
Yeah, and the High Templar is kind of out of position too. It's not with the army, it's being too slow and kind of far back there. Realizing this NBA is going to back up, but even with that Storm, like you said, I think Squall could take this fight if he gets all his units together and wipe out this army, which is just going to set NBA back even further. It kind of goes back to that earlier game where we saw Rat-a-tat-a-tang keep pushing out with these smaller armies against Zerg. That's kind of not what you want, right? Like, you want these bigger, stronger armies. Your army's going to do better the bigger it is. That said, we do have a Storm going down on some Hydras, picking a few off, but it's not going to be enough, and Squalls should be able to clean up this army if he chases it down here.
Yes, kills the High Templars. Can he get that Archon? That Archon is very low already. Maybe if he focuses a bit. Okay, looks like he's not looking. Okay, but he gets 2 goons anyways. And NBA in return. Looks like he can deny this expansion attempt in the bottom right.
Yeah, does force a cancel at least. And manages to get out with a couple of Dragoons and that Archon, so his shields will come back a little bit there. But at the same time, Squall is taking a different 4th base here. Kind of at the 12 or 11:30, 11:50 kind of position here. But yeah, what are the upgrades?
Yeah, I wonder about that as well.
Okay, go ahead, take over.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I just want to say we saw it in the last game. The upgrades were a huge difference between those 2 players, and we have a 1-0 for Squall's Hydralisk here. I don't see any Zerglings right now, but I assume they are on 0-0. And meanwhile, NBA is on 1-1 as well. So far pretty even here.
We do have another fight coming in, but there's only one High Templar again, and one Storm. Okay, there's a couple more behind with a couple Storms, so if you can get a couple of good Storms, maybe you can take a decent fight. But with the Lurkers here, and again, no Observers, Squall will be able to defend this position.
Wow, but no
Willy.
micro here by
Yeah.
Squall, no dodging of storms. I mean, the Lurkers will still clear this, of course, but he lost so many Hydras there.
Yeah, Ling's coming in now to help finish the job. And yeah, the Lings are on 0-0 like we thought. +2 has been started. It's about halfway done for the Hydralisk attack. He does have 2 Evo chambers, but the second one isn't doing anything. A bit of a mistake there. Would like to see Carapace being upgraded in there as well. What about on the Protoss side? Looks like, yeah, the upgrades for 2-2 are just about to finish. Like, I feel like that played a big role in the last game, so it could potentially come back and play a big role here if this game continues on, with NBA having the upgrade advantage once again.
Yeah, that could play a huge role towards the later stages of this game again. And we just have a little information by Squall himself that this was on turn rate 14 high, so that's why it was very hard to dodge those storms, I guess.
Okay.
So that's always a factor here.
All right, good to know. Well, we do have a couple of Corsairs just hanging out at the front of Squall's natural here. Now they're going to fly in. I would have liked to see him fly in and check that this hive is building and just about finished. If he flew in, okay, he still could fly in. See, go check the hive. I want to see it. But they're just going to sit there, I guess. Meanwhile, Squall catching some probes, transferring down to the bottom right here, which is going to alert him of this base's presence if he didn't already know. I'm not sure if he knew about that, but he certainly should know about that now. Meanwhile, the Corsairs, okay, they are going to look to get maybe a couple of Overlord kills, but he is kind of playing this dangerously right in the middle of the Zerg's rally point here.
Yeah, but looks like Squall not really reacting. Will lose. Okay, will not lose. Maybe one more. Can he shoot it one more time? No, he cannot. So, okay, not a lot of damage done. Only like one Overlord's dead here. And meanwhile, Squall did start his Carapace upgrade, so he will be on 2-1 shortly. Yeah, the second tech upgrade already finished. So 2-1 for Squall, but the 2-2 is finished for NBA. And now he's attacking. So is Squall in position? I only see 2 Lurkers, and those 2 Lurkers will die pretty quickly here. And apart from that, there are not a lot of units here. Okay, they're coming.
He is bringing more, but had they been in position earlier on, they would have taken a better fight. Storm's still going down on clumps of Lurkers here. Looks like Squall is going to have enough to push NBA back for now, though, which is definitely good. Yeah.
He focused the observer there, so that's why NBA could not stay here against those Lurkers and had to retreat and lose a few units during that.
Well, we have a couple of High Templars going down here. Nice little pickoffs there from Squall, killing a couple of those High Templars from the retreating Protoss army. We do have a little bit of attack maybe coming down for bottom right, but there's more than enough there that NBA should be able to defend that little group of units. Instead, he's actually going to just morph a few Lurkers and try and take that base himself. Meanwhile, in the top left, we do have another cancel of a base. NBA canceling that 5th base attempt of the double gas base of Squall there.
Okay, Squall trying to get some free kills here on those units in the back. Can he get that High Templar maybe? Yes, he does.
Nice little pick off. You can get a High Templar, a couple of stray units there, getting a Dragoon for his troubles as well. We do have a shuttle flying around here with 4 Dark Templar in it, but Squall is aware of this now, so maybe going to be a little bit more on the lookout for that coming back here in a few minutes or something. Meanwhile, Protoss army is just kind of roaming around, seeing what he can do, if he can pick off some stray units. It is getting quite large. How are the upgrades? Looks like he just now started +1 shields, even though he's still on 2-2. Second Forge isn't being used, but we do have this Protoss army pushing forward, and what does Squall have? No real Lurkers here in position. He's got a good group of Hydras and Lings. Will it be enough to push back or hold back this Protoss army?
Yeah, I mean, supply-wise, it looks like he could be able to defend this attack. But of course, the big difference are the storms
DT
in
drop.
most fights. But DT drop in the natural here, killing a lot of drones again, like 5 or 6 drones here. But now they are cleaned up. So I mean, as at least not as much damage done compared to last game, and he still has a lot of drones in the natural. So if he transfers them over to the, I mean in the main base, if he transfers those over to the natural, he's fine. But the more important part of this map right now is this bottom right. Can NBA deny this new base? Against 4 lurkers,
Yeah,
it doesn't look like that's the case here.
I agree. Very key point or moment in this game. Like if NBA can get up that ramp and take out the space, that'd be good for him. But at the same time, Squall's got a big group of Hydra lurker behind here. Looks like NBA is just going to storm these lurkers, and this is going to allow him to push up here, forcing Squall to move in with his units now. Even if NBA gets up here, there's a potential that Squall could trap his army down here, but NBA realizing this, he's just going to take this fight while the units are still streaming in. This could be a very good fight for him. I'd like to see a storm maybe on that Hydra clump at the ramp. No storms going down. Will Squall defend and push this back? It looks like maybe for now.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but Squall doesn't really have all his units fighting at the same time. Some lurkers on the right, some lurkers on the left here. And because of that, it looks like he is losing a few too many units. But in the end, it will be... Actually, I think because of that, it could not be enough to actually defend this base, because there are no lurkers on the high ground anymore. If NBA pushes in here, he can definitely deny this.
Yeah, at the same time, too, NBA is also pushing top left. Once again, there are a couple lurkers here, no observers, but the Zealots can probably pick off this hatchery before the lurkers can kill them, and they will do just that. Meanwhile, NBA did set up another base there as well, so if NBA can take this base out and get 5 bases himself, he's going to be in a very good position, but hold that as Squall's pushing up here now with a good group of Hydra Lings. He does take out the hatchery, but he's going to lose his whole entire army here.
Yeah. Okay, so Squall loses his base. So let's take a look at the base count of both players here. So the main is mined out for Squall, natural soon to be mined out, and the third base as well. So Squall will be on one single base, like in a minute or in 1.5 minutes, if he cannot secure another base very soon. Meanwhile, Squall, NBA still has the third base going strong, he has the fourth base going strong, and he has that bottom base as well. So NBA on full 3 bases right now, while Squall is struggling to get the second base up.
Yeah, that said, if Squall can keep this position and secure top left for himself, he will eventually outmine NBA with that extra base and extra 2 gases there. But will he be able to? That's the question. Like if NBA can keep denying this base and ever stop Squall from getting it, then I think NBA can win this game. But if Squall does get that position, he's going to be able to, get more units out and potentially take this game for himself. So still a very close game and hard to tell here who's going to win this one.
Yes.
Very
Yeah, it looks
action-packed
like
too.
the deciding position of this map will be the top left, because the bottom right base is pretty secured here by Squall now. I think Squall also has enough units around here, and he's actually going for a little attack on NBA's base here at the bottom, but the units are already coming and will probably clean this up very easily.
Yeah, Dark Swarm going down, but kind of funny to see NBA running away from a few Lings with the Dark Swarm when he has the Zealots there, but doesn't want to lose those Dragoons for free, or just going to wait for the rest of his army before pushing forward. Unfortunately, those drones leaving just before that hatchery finished. Will he have enough to defend here? I think he will, especially if he can get these last few lurkers up the ramp here.
Yeah, so that's definitely enough. A little attack on the top here. Dark Swarm goes down, 3 Zerglings can kill unlimited cannons with enough Dark Swarm. And there are more Zerglings streaming in.
We do need to see another Swarm go down though. Looks like it will. Okay, so this could... I mean, NBA has to send something over here to react to this before he loses everything. The cannons are mostly just there to buy time at this point. Like, they're not going to be able to kill the Lings, especially with Swarm, so he needs to send something. It looks like he has a couple of Templars and Zealots heading up there now. Meanwhile, we do have him pushing in towards the Zerg Natural, but well defended here by Squall. He's got a couple of Dark Swarms, some Lurkers, Lings, Templars, and he's killed a good part of NBA's army here. And killing a base. Like, this is all of a sudden looking really good for Squall.
Yeah, so NBA can barely defend this base, but there are more units coming. Squall wants to finish up this base, but 2 more icons coming. So I think NBA actually, yeah, can defend this base here and start mining again.
Yeah, this could be a critical moment. If NBA can hold on to this base, he'll be able to still fight back. But if Squall was able to take that out, that would really set NBA back here. And the Lings are going to focus fire.
Oh,
Are they going to get it? Are they going to get it? There's one Ling still fighting. Okay, he barely saves that with just under 100 HP. I wouldn't be surprised to see Squall try and snipe that a little bit later if he can. But I mean, that's a critical moment. If NBA loses that base, he's in a bad spot, kind of. I mean, he's still mining from 2 bases, but that 3rd base is about to run out.
yeah, now we have that situation that Squall, with securing that bottom right, is on 2 bases, and NBA is still on 3, but the 3rd base is also soon to be mined out. So it will be 2 bases against 2 bases for a little bit here. Nice storms by NBA killing those lurkers here, trying to attack his base.
Yeah, this is quite a crazy game now. The army for NBA is very large. Like, he's maxed out, right? Upgrades, he's on 3 armor, 2 attack, 1 shields. Is he upgrading anymore? Okay, forges are not spinning, but can Squall kill this army? This is like a very key moment. If this army can kill a couple of bases of Squall, it's probably over. But if Squall can kill this army, he's going to be in such a position that I don't think he can win. Lurkers are very clumped up. Oh, where are the storms on the Lurkers? Where are the... Okay,
The
this is crazy.
observers, 3 observers just died to Scourges. So, oh my god, these lurkers are doing so much damage. Okay, another observer joins the fight here.
That's a very key observer. Now, can Squall kill this army? He is gonna, looks like, probably lose this base.
Yeah, the base is for sure going down, but how is the trade? And okay, never mind. Yeah, the trade was definitely good enough with so many Archons. I mean, one part of an army is the supply, of course. One factor of its strength is the supply. But also, a Protoss army with a lot of Archons is so much more powerful while not increasing the supply. So, yeah, the army of NBA was way too strong here, and Squall GG's.
Yeah, it was looking really good there for Squall for a little bit. I thought he was going to be able to take out that base and fight back and eventually take the game, but NBA barely holds onto that base, builds up such a strong army that Squall wasn't able to kill it off and lose his own base, and in the end, taps out. So Squall does get eliminated from the Gosuleague, and NBA moves on for a chance to advance to the round of 8.
Yes, I still want to mention this one last observer. So the 3 observers were killed, and if this last 4th observer didn't join, I think, I mean, there were 8 lurkers or so. The 8 lurkers would surely kill those units. So then it would be a really close and interesting game still. But yeah, the observer comes and NBA secures his win.
Yeah, overall, that was a really nice game from both players. I think it was a fun, action-packed game right from the start, right? Like, we had the gate opening, we had them attacks in multiple locations. Like, very nice game, for sure. GG's from both players.
Yes, GG. And that means we have the decider match now between NBA and Reina. NBA and Reina, we have seen them in the first game of this group already. They are now meeting again in the deciders match, with Reina coming from the winners match against Kuge and NBA coming from that losers match we just saw against Squall.
Oh, that's right. We did have Raynor did win that first time around. So can he do it again? Or does NBA have some tricks up his sleeve to maybe steal the games from him and advance for himself?
We will see about that in this final match of the group. The start map is Blade Runner here, and the game is loaded up, and we are jumping in. Okay, here we go. In the bottom right, we have our red Protoss NBA.
All right, and in the bottom left, our brown Terran is Bull Rainer. First thing I'm noticing here is they're both sharing the bottom of the map, like we saw in that PVZ here earlier. See if that comes into play. It gives like an extra option for one player to maybe push into the other. They can push through the middle of the map or through the bottom of the map here. So we'll see if that comes into play.
But still, the player on the bottom right, if he wants to go to this 6 o'clock base, he has to enter the middle, the center of the map.
Yeah.
But of course, as a Protoss, you can do that. As a Terran, a little bit harder. But yeah, in this case, the 6 o'clock base is, I would call it the area of the Terran. So Reyna can push there pretty easily from the secured position between his natural and third base.
Yeah, makes it a little bit easier for him. So we could see a situation where, maybe he's taking his fourth base and pushing towards the Protoss base at the same time through that lower area. Now we'll have to see. Like, I'm trying to remember what exactly happened in the first games. Like we had on the Overwatch game, we had like NBA try something aggressive with the DT drops. So maybe we'll see something kind of similar where he like, okay, I want to go for some kind of aggressive drop play or something to gain some kind of advantage, not just a straight up macro game. And actually, we are going to see another 12 next coming out from him, which is what we saw him do on Gold Rush.
Yeah.
But of course, this isn't Gold Rush, so hopefully we don't see that same kind of mistake where he just dies because he can't get to his base, or we won't see that kind of thing because he will be able to get to his base and save it this time.
Yeah, and also we see the SCV here leaving Reyna's quarter of the map into the wrong in the wrong direction. So this 12 Nexus will get unscouted for a little while longer, and this is definitely a nice little advantage for NBA.
Yeah, we're also seeing NBA do the one gate version, which is a little bit greedier, some would say, because I mean you're getting your tech faster. You're not really relying on a couple of zealots to defend. So he's going to be able to get dragoons out faster, or observers, reavers, DTs, whatever he kind of wants to go for, just by going for only one gate and his gas instead of the two gates to help defend. And actually, Raynor is going to go ahead and do the cross or the N kind of scout. As you can see, it kind of makes like an N pattern on the map. And this is one of the reasons Terrans scout this way is in case it's a 12 next in a close position, it just gives them an option to rush it or something. So he is actually going to scout this 12 next here pretty soon. We'll see if he wants to try and punish, do some kind of a rush after scouting it, or if he's just going to say, okay, you got the Nexus fast, I'm going to go ahead and take my command center fast and play from there.
Yeah, and it looks like the second option is what Reyna is choosing here. He's lifting his barracks. Actually, now he's landing it again. I just want to say he's lifting his barracks so he will not make more Marines. Now he's landing it, but he's still not making more Marines, so... Yeah, crazy. Okay, he's pulling this. He's going for that with 2 Marines only.
Okay, yeah. I thought he would probably do something like this because of the end scout. Like that scout pattern in general is like, okay, if you're going 12 next and you're close to me, I want to be able to punish this. So we'll have to see, can NBA defend this, or will Raynor just kill him? It could be a little bit harder to defend because NBA only went for the one gateway now. He does have 2 zealots out. He's going to have to pull probes if he wants to try and defend here.
Yeah, where are the goons? Okay, range is researching. First goon is almost out. There's still no bunker, so if the goon comes out, I think he can still kill this. There are only 2 marines and 1 vulture that can attack. Whoa, what are the zealots doing? Okay, they are now attacking. Well, this is a messy fight here.
First zealot goes down. Will he get that bunker? It looks like he's going to get the bunker up. Marine just barely gets in. There's only 1 Marine, so it's not a ton of DPS, but he killed all the units here, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to save this Nexus.
Yeah, this fight went wonderfully for Reyna here. Slight miss micro by NBA, I would say. But now the Vulture is even killing some probes. But the range is finishing soon, but with all the SCV attacking the Nexus, the range will not be in time to save it.
Yeah. Now, this said, even though he's losing the Nexus, he did save most of his probes, and he does force a large pull of SCVs. So even though he lost his Nexus here, he's not in a spot where it's like, okay, I just lose the game, right? Game over. He still can fight back. Because Terran's economy got hurt too, right? Like we can see he's just now started his natural expansion himself, and he had to pull so many SCVs that's SCVs that aren't mining. So the economies actually aren't in as bad a shape now. Okay, I was gonna say he can't let these vultures all get in here and kill a bunch of probes though.
Yeah, and yeah, so again, this vulture killing probes, but also he tried to kill the bunker without range, just attacking it, getting some counter damage on his dragoons, but didn't even get it. The SCV were able to repair in time. So, this is not a good position for NBA. The expansion is almost up for Reina now.
Was he making range? Or does he just not have range yet?
He has it now. I'm not sure
Okay,
why
okay.
he's actually in the range of the Marines. I have no idea. He definitely has range.
Oh no, he even loses a
Oh
Dragoon
my
there
God.
for free. Is he gonna lose another one? Okay. He does back up. Bit unfortunate for him. So he was in an okay position, but now it's looking a little bit worse for him. Like you said, the expansion is done for Raynor. We still don't have the natural being retaken yet for NBA. We do have a shuttle coming out, so it looks like he wants to go for Reavers or some kind of bust. Okay, the robotics support base just finishing up now. So he is going to go for a Reaver and try to get some counter damage. Hold that though. Dragoon's walking into mines. Okay. Only losing one Dragoon there.
Yeah, and this
But
is just such a frustrating position for the Protoss. He went for the shuttle and the Reaver even, so he wants to go for a counter attack and do some damage, but now he realizes, oh, he cannot leave his base because his observer is super late because of the shuttle and Reaver, and now he's stuck here. His Nexus is not even started. He still doesn't have the minerals, and Reyna is in a super fine position and yeah, can just get a big advantage from this.
yeah, so where we're sitting at in this game now, it's really going to come down to can NBA get a lot of damage done with this Reaver. If he can, then he's going to be able to maybe even this game out, but he's still not getting that Nexus. Like he's continuing to build other units. He doesn't have an observer started, so maybe he just wants to go all in here. The fact that he hasn't built a Nexus makes me think maybe he's just planning to go all in. But if he can kill a lot of SCVs or something, great. Now we see on Raynor's side, he's already preparing for this possibility. He's already built a bit of a turret ring. Shuttle can still get in here, but he's built the turrets such a way that it's going to be hard for the shuttle to get in and get out without taking damage. So shuttle flies in.
Oh no!
He will drop. Okay, he does get the Reaver off. Oh, but now the shuttle's not going to really be able to get out, which is the main point of these turrets, unless the zealots can kill him, of course. But yeah, there are a few Marines. If they go and target that shuttle, they could kill it.
Well, the shuttle.
Oh no,
will...
no, no!
Oh. Okay, this is an even worse position for NBA now. I want to mention the last shot of this turret on the shuttle while it was flying in missed. There was a missed shot from the turret on that shuttle. Otherwise, it would already been dead here. Okay, hold that thought. There are two vultures getting into the main once again, killing one probe. Okay, never mind. Two probes. And three probes. Okay, not as much damage as I thought. But going back to the situation, the turret missing the shot there, there's like a 1 to 256% chance, like I don't know, a 0.6% chance or so, that any ranged shot, any projectile can miss its target, and that's what happened here with the shuttle. Little interesting thing there.
Yeah, very rare to see. But yeah, looking at this game as a whole now, Raynor's in such a commanding position. Like in NBA spot, you have to take some big gamble if you want any chance whatsoever, or just go all in. I thought he was about to go all in when he was massing a bunch of Dragoons, but there's too many tanks here now. He can't really bust through and try and win that way. So really, his only hope is like I don't know, take 2 or 3 Nexuses, stop building units for a while, take a bunch of Nexus, and hope that he doesn't get attacked until he can like try and catch back up and even this out. Because he's just so far behind right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the worker count is so far behind. The only thing that he's ahead in is the army, but just in numbers. But the army itself, the units that he has, is pure dragoons against almost pure tanks. So this is very bad. But if he can catch those tanks unsieged, that would be awesome for him. But it's not the case. Okay, he kind of gets on one of the tank, but now he has to retreat again. And well, a move like that can win him the game in such a short moment if Reyna's not careful enough.
Yeah. But as we saw, Raynor was on top of that, pulling his tanks back, only losing one. One thing I like to see from Raynor was this vulture movement around the map. He had a couple of vultures just moving around, checking all the bases, looking for some kind of hidden or proxy nexus kind of thing, because he realizes, he knows he's in such a good position that the only way NBA can really get back is if he goes all in and catches him off guard, or if he takes like a bunch of hidden nexuses or something that he doesn't scout and kind of gets away with them. So I like that Raynor's just doing his due diligence, checking around the map, making sure there's no nexus anywhere, not seeing anything. He's like, okay, it's 2 base versus 2 base. I'm feeling comfortable here. I don't have to move out. I just have to not die to his next big attack, and I should win the game.
Yeah. But I have to say, the worker count is evening out slowly but surely here. Reyna was ahead 15 workers or so earlier. Now it's only 9. So Reyna definitely skipped some worker production here as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this bust attempt goes. We do have a group of units getting ready here for NBA. Losing a Dragoon for free is not the way you want to start this. But he does have a shuttle with some Zealots moving in now. As all the tanks are unsieging, so if he was going to go Mao might be the time. But this just looks so tough. It's like as many tanks as there are Dragoons. Plus there's a ton of Vultures here to buffer for them. And some Marines, even pulling those out. Like, I think the window to kill Raynor with some kind of all-in attack is passed.
Yeah.
And there's no follow-up for NBA because he's only on 2 bases. So I don't see how he can really come back. Like, he needs a miracle here. Maybe this is the miracle. A couple of DTs coming out. If he can catch him without scans and kill a bunch of units, maybe. But this Terran army is just so strong, so scary. Mind drags would be good.
Not happening. Oh, DTs. Nope. Maybe the DTs can do it. Are there scans? There are scans for Reyna. DTs are dying. Okay, picks one up, but he still has enough scans, and he doesn't even need to siege at this point. He can just roll over the Protoss army.
Yeah, A moving across the map here. And, I mean, if he gets all bunched up in the natural and a couple of storms go down, that's one way, but he's not actually going to make storms. He's going to go ahead and make an Archon here. Maybe Storm wouldn't have been ready in time or something. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Storm's just barely started. So he just needs the unit. And realizing, okay, I can't fight this, he does tap out. GG is called, and Raynor takes game number 1.
Yeah. I mean, Terran, always so easy, just A move across the map and win the game. Very sad.
And that's the Terran way, yeah. Tasagi, right? Terran too easy.
Yes. I mean, we are one game away from seeing both Terrans in this group advance.
Yeah. That's kind of nice to see. Gives us some diversity. I mean, it gives us 2 Terrans in the round of 8. But we're not there yet. I mean, NBA can still win the next 2 games. And from what we've seen so far, I mean, NBA has not beaten Raynor yet in a game, from what we've seen tonight. But
yes, it's 3-0.
His style, the way he's playing, can definitely catch a Terran off guard, right? Like, he's taking risks. He's doing things. So if Raynor doesn't scout it properly or doesn't see something coming, NBA can pick up an easy, quick win like that. And all he has to do is do that twice, and he advances instead of Raynor.
Yes, and he not only has to do it twice, he has to also do it now, because if he loses this next game, he is out of the tournament, and we'll find out about this. In this next game, the map is Polypoid, and in the top right, we have our Terran player one game away from advancing. It is Reina.
All right, and in the bottom left, playing red once again, it is DMNBA, our Protoss, who is on the brink of elimination. Really, like this game is do or die for him. If he loses this, he's out. So he knows I got to win this game no matter what. What strategy does he bring out? Like, you got to bring out your number one, your top strategy, your best strategy in PvT right now if you want a chance to advance.
It would be so funny if he sends a probe out now and builds some proxies.
Yeah, proxy nexus or proxy gateway in the middle of the map. But it doesn't look like that is the case. Just going to build his gateway in the main and go scout after gate. I am curious about the scout timing. I don't know. I don't recall if he scouted this early in the other games. I guess he went for 12 nexus, so it was a little bit different. But this does seem like a little bit early scout against Terran. Maybe this is in hopes to catch Terran going for something like a Rax Expand, Rax FE, and doing a proxy robo to punish that. Because normally you don't see Protoss scout this early, after Gateway against Terrans. You might see him scout maybe a little bit later after Core or something.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But yeah, so far we don't see a gas for Reina, so this could actually be. So this is a fast expansion by Reina, but this could be a very nice scout for NBA, and then he can do that proxy robotics, for example, that you mentioned, or maybe proxy 2 gate or whatever to punish this.
Yeah, well, his probe is going to get in here and see this now. Seeing the command center just started, might be able to deny that or at least slow it down a little bit if he can force the SCV to stop building it there. It looks like he will be able to. So just picking him, buying himself a few seconds there on the command center, but nothing too big. Going to go into the main, just double check. Okay, no gas, so this isn't like that 13 gas build. What do you think about this, stealing the gas on Rax Expand?
Well, if he has a Zealot on the way, for example, then okay. In this case, I'm not sure if I like it.
Yeah, like Terran's usually okay with this. Like a lot of the times when you see a Protoss go for a gas steal against Terran, what they'll do is if they were planning for going for a factory expand, they'll just change it and do like a rack expand. So I'm not sure about this. I guess we'll see. I mean, it is going to deny him from getting his gas mining going here a little bit, but I don't think he's going to mine too much.
Yeah, especially because he can take the gas in the natural because his command center's finishing. I mean, it was still slightly delayed. It was a way later gas steal. And okay, now he is doing what you mentioned. He is going for the proxy to punish this. So in that case, the gas steal could actually work out because this delays the siege tanks a little bit. And if there is a Reaver, for example, the only thing that Terran has to stop the Reaver are siege tanks. So if those are delayed, that's a pretty good situation for the Reaver.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that I don't mind this as much, but now Raynor knows this is a possibility, and he's going to scout for this, and he is going to find this, so he knows exactly what's up now. So I'm sure he's got some kind of play or plan for this. I think, yeah, okay, this is what you do. You pull a bunch of SCVs and your Marines, and you just go and kill it before he can defend it.
Oh, and NBA knows that this is it. This situation will decide if he gets eliminated or not. So he puts down a shield battery to somehow maybe defend his robotics here and win this fight. So 2 goons, definitely nice, can kill the Marines before they get into the bunker. But there's 3 Marines. No, there's no way. And he actually cancels the robotics. And with that, he is again in a situation where he's so far behind with Nexus just started against an early expansion of the Terran.
Yeah, this doesn't feel good for NBA now. Like, especially, you can only imagine what's going through his head because he knows he's on the line. If he loses this game, he's out. And then this happens, like he gets his proxy Reaver scouted and denied. Like, he's got to be feeling pretty bad now. What he does have going for him is there is still no factory units out, so he's going to be able to hit this bunker for a little bit, force some repair, force some minerals lost from Raynor. But at the same time, Rainer's not going to mind this too much. He's like, I'm in a great spot now. You know, he knows the expansion's going to be delayed here for NBA. He knows getting him to cancel that or build that and not get it off is going to slow him down. So what is the play now for NBA? It looks like he actually wants to maybe go for DTs here with a Citadel follow-up.
Yeah, he needs to do something drastic and maybe risky as well. So he decides he wants to go for the DTs. Oh, has to be careful. He cannot lose his goons here. He needs every single unit he can get here. With 4 goons, I would maybe even love to see him run by and maybe get into the main. If he can snipe this first tank that is still far away from finishing, he could really do a lot of damage here. And I mean, the siege mode is even not started, so he will still do a lot of damage.
Oh, he did move his Dragoons up, so maybe this is, he's thinking about it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's considering doing that, and I kind of agree. Like, if he can get in there and snipe the first tank or two, force the SCVs to pull to fight this, could be good for him. But tank is out now. Will he go for the dive? He's not reacting. He could lose that Dragoon. Okay, he will pull back and save that Dragoon. We did have a couple of Marines in his natural. I didn't see if they got any kills or not.
One kill.
Just harassing a couple of pros. Okay, yeah, it looks like so. Little pickup for his troubles there. The Marines from that bunker. But yeah, where's the game? Looks like he finally killed that assimilator in his main base, so now Raynor is going to be able to take that himself and get that 2 gas economy going. Where does he go from here? Does he want to go for a mid-game push? Is he just going to play it a little safer and go for a third base? We got a CV around the outside. I don't know what that's for. Maybe just a turret to defend any potential aggression, like Reavers or DT drop from NBA.
Yeah, he's going for the DT drop, and he also just picked off a tank in the naturals of the Terran. So only 1 tank here. Okay, I mean more tanks finishing now, but still no siege, but he doesn't need siege against DTs, so that's not the biggest of problems for Reyna. But the real question is here, can this DT drop do some damage? Because so far I would still give a slight advantage to Reyna, but it's not as big as I thought from this opening. The worker count is almost even.
Yeah, looks like Rainer's going to go ahead and throw down a 3rd command center now. So he's just going to say, okay, I know I'm ahead. I'm just going to take it safe, take it easy, get my bases up, get all my tanks and units out. Where did that scan go down? Oh, nice, beautiful scan. He scans the robotics and the DT tech. So he should know what's going on here now. Very nice scan. Another scan going down at the natural, kind of seeing only 2 gateways. So turrets are already in place. He sees the shuttle fly in, so he should know, should be fine. And I don't expect him to take very much damage to this.
Yeah, the turret ring is complete compared to that very first game we saw of this group on Overwatch between these 2 players, where there were no turrets, no scan, nothing. But in this case, everything is already prepared. Even before he just scouted and scanned this, he already had the turret ring, so these DTs will not do a lot of damage. Pretty much no damage.
Yeah, 2 DTs outside of the Terran's base, 2 more in the shuttle. Looks like he was hoping to fly in there, but there's turrets at the natural. There's no real way for him to get in there. Maybe he can fly kind of to the left of the bunker to drop a couple DTs in, but there's still plenty in place. And now Rainer's going to get out on the map with some of these vultures. He does have mines, does have speed, so he can start laying some mines out on the map for a little bit of vision, or try and look to get some harass done somewhere if he can.
But it looks like Reyna is pretty secured, but he has to close this gap in the natural. There's a gap in the wall here. Apart from that, he's pretty secured in his 3rd base. Yeah, and now fixing that gap in the natural wall. So he is fine here against those vultures. And again, the worker count is even. I still think that Reyna maybe skipped his worker production a little while.
Man, could be, but looks like now's the time for him to push this army back, or so he says. DTs are going to get a lot of damage done here. There's no scans going down for these DTs or detection, and even the mines killing a couple of his own vultures. So yeah, this push out is actually working in NBA's favor here a little bit. he was just hoping to kill these units, but the DTs really set that back. Now he did save most of his tanks, which is good for him, but overall, I think that was a little bit better for NBA than it was for Rainer.
Yeah, definitely. Reducing the tank count and also delaying this move out by the Terran. The Terran wants to get the third base up, but he can't because of this. And now even building a comp
Yeah,
set at the third command center to push out. So Reyna's really getting delayed a lot here. Oh, the scan, but the pickup of the shuttle. So now NBA can wait a little bit and then drop them out again. Are there more scans? Okay, there are more scans.
yeah, that's funny. He's just gonna open command or
Oh.
comsat sitting in the middle of his base. That's something you don't see every day necessarily. Somehow that DT did not die to those mine hits, but gets killed now. There's still 3 DTs in the shuttle though, so he can keep picking up, forcing scans. And yeah, I mean, if he can deny this third base with these DTs, that'd be actually very good for him. He is banking a few minerals during this, but it looks like he is going to kill all of the tanks and the whole army of Raynor here, really setting him back from taking this third base, which is, I mean, I almost want to say NBA's put himself in a little bit of an advantage now because of all this.
Yeah, the DTs did so much in that fight. I think the siege mode of Reyna was even a mistake here because there were only like 4 or 5 goons. I think if he just attack moves unsieged, he could have killed the DTs and still be fine against the goons. But now, yeah, he lost so much and he's super far behind now. Third base still not mining. The third base of NBA is running for a while now. And NBA is also in a big supply advantage now.
Yeah, and he's even got a little bit of money that he's floating here. They could spend, get some more units out. He does have his first Arbiter on the way as well. I don't know if he started any Arbiter upgrades yet or not. He doesn't have any building at the moment, but maybe something finished, I'm not sure. So he's going to have ARBs coming out onto the map pretty soon. He's got 3 bases up and running. Looks like he's going to add a couple more gateways and a 4th base. So, I mean, things are looking good for him all of a sudden. He's getting into a pretty good position.
Yeah.
Whereas I thought he was in a bad position later. He's fought himself back into a winning position. We actually saw this in a couple series from NBA where he kind of got behind early. Maybe his opening strategy put him behind, but he's found a way to fight back into the game, and he's done it here once more.
Yeah, and kind of funny that in this first game on Overwatch, we saw the DTs not doing a lot of damage, despite Reyna not being prepared at all. But in this game, Reyna was super prepared. He had his turrets up, he had his scanners, like everything was well prepared for Reyna. But the DTs actually turned this game around, anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true. But yeah, so where are we at now? It looks like 4th base just about to finish up for Protoss. We got Speed Zealots out. We got a group of Dragoons out, or a couple of groups of Dragoons out. Decent sized army here for Raynor as well. Looks like maybe a scouting Dragoon, seeing if he can try and bust this position, but I don't think he's going to necessarily be able to. Oh, he is going to catch a group of Vultures here, though. I like the little split up of Dragoons to stop them from escaping and getting the kill on those Vultures. Very nice pickup.
Yes. Okay, so what are the upgrades? We saw NBA being very on top of his upgrades in those PVZs that we saw him against Squall. In this game, however, he's on 0-0 still. So that could be a problem. There are 2 forges spinning at least. Okay, just starting his second upgrade, so he is pretty behind on the upgrades. On Reyna's side, we have the +1. Okay, the +2 also just started, so I guess they are both a little bit behind on the upgrade timings, so in the end it's almost even again.
Yeah, a big part of that is coming down to the early game and stuff, too, I imagine. The other thing going for NBA is like upgrades aren't as important necessarily in PvT as they are in PvZ. Still definitely want to get them, still important, still play a role. But you can fight better without them as opposed to PvZ. That said, looks like we have a decent sized army for both players here. We got NBA kind of roaming around the map. He's got to be a little bit careful. He doesn't have any observers with this army, and there's a bunch of mines kind of laying around. So if he gets too far forward here and runs into mines, he could lose a bunch of units for free, which is not exactly what you want here.
Yeah, maybe he could use one of his 4 observers that are sitting outside of the Terran base to clear those mines, but so far he doesn't see them. And yeah, these three observers on one screen are definitely a bit weird.
Yeah. Would like to see him maybe bring one of them down, scout around. He did clear some mines that were kind of in front of or to the left there of the Terran's third base. Always a nice little pickup, but we still have those mines there. He should be able to clear out, and especially if he wants to maybe go for an attack at that fourth base a little bit later of Terran's, who's just getting that gas up and mining now. Still only one SCV on gas, but I'm sure he'll once he notices he'll put a couple more on there. Now, what's the play? Looks like this Arbiter's moving forward. Does he want to try and go for a recall? There are a bunch of mines laid in some turrets around here, so he's going to have to be careful where he recalls if that's the play.
Yeah, I think he could fly on top of the factories. That would be pretty nice. But I have to say, I'm a big I don't know how to say it, but I really don't like going for recall when the Terran is still sitting with all his units pretty much in front of his natural, because his path to defend is very short. If you recall here on top of the factories, for example, Reyna only has to move a few of his tanks, not even one screen, and he can defend this. So I really want NBA to wait until
Oh,
the Terrans move out. But now, hold that thought. We have a
okay,
little
Zealot.
movement here.
Yeah, losing some units here to some mines. Lost 3 Zealots so far. Looks like he's going to lose a Dragoon as well. Group of Dragoons did get around. He's going to try and poke up here. But that wall with the depots is going to kind of buy him enough time to get some tanks up there to defend. A little bit of poking and prodding here from NBA, but I don't think he's going to find any weak spot that he can try and exploit here, at least at the moment.
Yeah, and I think NBA actually didn't expect the space to be here, because he had those three observers. He was guarding both exits from the Terran, from his like rally point position. And this base on the right was completely undefended, but he did not see it, sadly. And now I think he expected Terran to be in on 3 base, but now he's on 4 base, so that's definitely not good for him. But I mean, he still has all the expansions, and he's getting a lot of gateways in the bottom right now, so he's still in a very fine position.
Yeah, both players maybe a little high on workers. NBA is probably in the realm of okay, that's fine. Rayner maybe a couple more workers than he might like. Maybe you want a couple extra tanks in there instead of those workers, but still, I think it's fine enough, especially if he can get into a good position and take a good fight. EMP going down, just missed that Arbiter.
Yeah.
A bit unfortunate for him, but good for NBA. So he's still going to have a couple of stasis available, although there is still another EMP on one of these vessels if he wants to go for it.
Oh, okay, gets the MP after the first stasis. This stasis is actually blocking a few of
Yeah.
NBA's units. Nice storm, however. Can he do another one? Yes, there's another nice storm.
Yeah, there's only Dragoons left here. I'm a little bit worried of him continuing to push forward, but it looks like he's probably got enough Dragoons and they're spread out well enough that he should be able to take this anyway. So not too bad here. And wiping out all the tanks is definitely a good moment for Protoss, especially if you still aren't taking really any damage and you can replenish your army really quickly. Then anytime you can reset that tank count is a big win for you.
Yeah, and especially with those gateways here in the bottom right, he just can produce and remake so much quicker than the Terran. So that was a very nice fight, clearing all the tanks here.
Yeah, this is beginning to look like a pretty good position for NBA. So being on the line here, he's not sitting down. He's fighting back hard. I like his position a little bit. I mean, he's still got to be a little bit worried that Terran is on 4 bases. Even taking a 5th base, if Terran can get a 5th base, like Terran can just fight so well and so effectively. 5 base Terran is really hard to stop once they get going and get those upgrades to where they need to be. Let's see. He is on 2-1 and he's got 3-2 on the way, almost about halfway done here. So once 3-2 finishes up, his army is going to be very, very powerful. Going to be very tough to fight that head on without a bunch of stasis and or storms here in the mix.
Yeah, and he's only upgrading in one of his 3 forges right now. Okay, just starting the second one, the third one now. Okay, but he's still behind on upgrades. 3-2 against it will be 2-1-2. Not the best situation, and I don't know. I want him to take the top left, to be honest.
Yeah.
If we get into a position where Reina can win one fight, he only needs to win one fight, crush one fight, and then he can secure probably the top left here. And if that happens, I think NBA could still lose this game. Otherwise, if NBA can secure the top left and deny it from Reina, I think NBA is in a very good position.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. We'll have to see where that goes. Looks like NBA wants to try and force his way up this small ramp. I don't think this is going to work out. There's a bunch of vultures here. Tanks are being moved in position. And yeah, realizing he's probably not going to get out there, he's going to back up a little bit.
Oh no.
Although in saying that, he's going for the recall. Once the tanks just get here, EMP goes off instantly. So these units all just get cleaned up very instantly. Yeah, not really the recall we wanted to see from him.
Yeah, that just lost him so many units, and both of his arbiters got EMP'd. One even died. That was definitely not the play here. And we have to remember, if this game gets into a split map scenario, where both players have around the same number of bases, with Reina taking the top side and NBA taking the bottom, the player who is trading more efficiently is winning the game. And so far, I mean, with the early DTs, NBA got a little bit ahead on that maybe, but right now it's definitely the Terran getting the better trades, I think. So NBA really has to secure another base or do some better fights here now.
Yeah, another EMP going off on another herb there. And more to that point, like in general, the Terran army you can usually trade a lot more efficiently. But here is another big fight. We got quite a good arc concave from
Yeah.
the Protoss. It's very Dragoon heavy, but nice stasis, nice storms. He's going to be able to crush through this Terran army here. Like,
Yeah, that was.
Why is the Terran army so small? Where's the rest of his units?
I mean, he has a lot of SCVs, and I mean, a lot of units were just stasis, and yeah, that was a wonderful fight by NBA. That's what he needed. And now he can actually also clear the units when they're unstasis. But he's trying to attack here. Is this the right decision? There's one tank. Okay, two more tanks coming.
Okay, he is sending some units to clear this army in the middle, but there's not a lot of units here. And actually, he's going to be more donating his units to Rainer's unstasis units. Okay, now he's got some more that should be able to finish cleaning up, but he did lose more units than maybe he needed to clear those tanks. Meanwhile, those SCVs are still, Dragoons are still fighting, but the SCVs are blocking them, buffering for those tanks. Very nice defensive job there from Rainer, but he will pick off that CC. Very nicely done.
Oh, the mines.
It's not. Oh, is he gonna back into those? Oh my God! One just killed the 4 Dragoons. Oh no.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so in the end, almost an even trade, I want to say. I do have to say that I don't like NBA pushing into the third base. Even if he killed Offset Command Center, it is still a only mineral base, and he lost most of his Dragoons now. If he just stayed with those stasis units and refill his army with a few more zealots, I think it would be better. But anyways, he did that attack. He killed the command center. He also killed some SCVs, but I have to say, I feel like that is helping Reyna at this point.
Yeah, it might actually be. He does fly in there with that shuttle. It gets picked off from some Goliaths, but he's gonna try and push this position again. I don't know about this. There's so many tanks here now. There's very little zealots, and this position doesn't even matter. Yeah, I like that he's backing out, but I don't think he should have moved in there to begin with. And furthermore, to your point about killing that CC, there was barely any minerals left here anyway, so that CC wasn't that important to Rainer to begin with. Yeah, so I think he was okay still once he backed out, but then that second attack in there, he just lost a lot of units for no reason, attacking a position that didn't really matter at this point. Maybe he thought he was further ahead, but hold on, he's moving into this top base here now. Gets on top of that tank, but there's a lot of mines here, and there's still a couple of tanks, so I don't know. Again, he's trying to push up like into a small choked up area with like just Dragoons, and not a lot of them. Like these kind of trades are what's gonna allow Rainer to fight back in this game and push out and then eventually kill him, right? Like you don't want to be throwing away and losing units for almost nothing. Maybe he thinks he's in a better position than he is, but I don't like some of the fights he's taking here, and it's really giving Raynor that chance to group his army together and move out onto the map and start pushing and killing some bases of Protoss here himself.
Yes. And also the fact that he's pretty much over 3k minerals this whole time, this last, I don't know, 7-8 minutes. He still has not taken the top left. We are getting to a point where it looks like Reyna can push towards that top left. Oh, but look, let's look at the stasis here. Okay, nice stasis.
Very
8
nice,
tanks.
I
Can he
think
do
that's
it?
2 states. Oh, okay. He's getting zealots on top of tanks here now. But now all the zealots are gone, and there's only dragoons left. There's still a lot of tanks. Yeah, I think you got to back out. He's lost a few too many dragoons there. I would have liked to see him back out a little bit sooner. And this is giving Raynor an opportunity to start pushing out on the map more. Like, he lost his army again, so Raynor's going to be able to at least take a bit more of a forward position. You can see he's already pushed his way into the middle of the map now. And could potentially start stamping out some Protoss bases here. And I think he will, actually, into this mineral base.
Yeah, you can really see how the Terran army is just way stronger now, and all those ineffective fights of NBA really come back to hurt him here. Even with 8 stasis tanks, he was not able to win this fight, and now he's definitely losing this newly taken base, and he will probably also lose the natural.
Yeah, and now this is where not having top left could potentially come back and haunt him, right? Like you were saying, if he had top left here, okay, losing a couple of bases down here isn't the end of the world. He's still got top left mining. He would have gateways up there that he could produce units from and still kind of get a bunch of units out and flank this Terran army. But now, as it is, if he loses this bottom right or a couple of bases here in bottom right, he's not going to have very much mining left. His mineral only is just about to mine out. And he's going to be on 3 bases. If Terran kills a couple of them, all of a sudden he finds himself on 1 base and not being able to replenish his army and kill or stop the Terran army.
Exactly. And I mean, NBA is still in a good supply, but all those units, or most of those units, are pretty much trapped here in the bottom right. You see the goons are just dying to the tanks, and he's not able to get a nice flank done. Also, no more Arbiter for NBA, and now he's running more goons into tanks, so I think this is probably it.
Oh yeah, this is not a good look. Like, NBA looked to be in a pretty strong position, but he made a couple key mistakes here, and now Raynor's taking advantage of that. He's got NBA trapped in this bottom right base, so he can't get those units out like you were saying. He can only really get units out from bottom left. Granted, he has a ton of gateways there. It's 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 gateways there. But still, he needs other locations. And he is now finally taking top left, but this feels like it could almost be too little too late.
Yeah, for sure. He could have taken this the whole time already. But yeah, he probably thought that he's more ahead than he actually was. And to be honest, it doesn't matter how far you are ahead in a PvT. If the Terran just camps, gets his 3-3 200 supply army, you can always get into position where he crushes your army and takes out one corner of the map. So you need to have both corners. If you are ahead in a game and you have the minerals, you need to take both corners, I think.
Yeah, especially like you said, when he gets to 3-3, like 3-3 mech is like such a strong composition. Their army just scales so much better than Protoss, Zealots, and Dragoons. And what can NBA do now? He is getting that top base. He's sending some probes over there, so he's going to be able to start mining from there. But he's lost bottom right? Like, and he's about to lose the other base in bottom right. He's kind of trapping or putting some units in the corner to try and attack with them all at once, see if he can kill, or maybe save this base, kill a bunch of units, or even recall them out. But I still don't know if it's going to be enough here. Like, Raynor's doing a good job punishing. He's going to take down, looks like 6 o'clock as well, which isn't the most important base necessarily for NBA, but it's still a mining base that he could very desperately need once his mining kind of dries up here.
Yeah. But there's a recall in the Terran base now with some hallucinated arbiters.
Ooh.
So can this be one way to get this game into a victory here? So far, yeah, there are some tanks. I'm not sure if that's enough damage. I don't think so.
No, like this recall was nice or a decent idea here, but it wasn't very big. Like it wasn't as big as I would like to have seen it. And now because of this, like Terran's easily going to be able to clean this up. He killed maybe a couple, one depot or something in a com stat. Maybe you get like the starport to burn down or something, but that's about it. Looks like he's trying to force his way up the small choke ramp once again here. Not going to work out for him, so instead he's going to group up his army and just go for that full frontal assault. And like if he can kill off all the factories in production, stop Terran from being able to remake his army, and then kill the Terran army, that's one way he can still win this game. But it's going to be a tough ask. Like it's gonna take some time to kill that and kill the army. Now he is moving in with a good group of units here. He should be able to at least get into the main if that's where he wants to go. But we do have Terran moving down with some army, and it's gonna just be free tanks here for Protoss.
Yeah, we have to remember that a big part of the army of Reyna is still in the bottom right here. And of course, if you can force the situation where the Terran is not fighting with that big mech army together, then you can actually win the fights. So this was a very good job by NBA, and now he could actually take out those remaining tanks. Nice storms, nice stasis.
Yeah, he's fighting back well. And it should be noted that Terran is only on one mining base at the moment, and it's very low. There's only about 200 minerals per patch here. That said, he does have a little bit of a bank, so he can still remax his army like once or twice here, I would say. And he is taking bottom right, but NBA has some units here. He's going to be able to deny this and stop this from happening. So if NBA could somehow stop the mining altogether, or kill this army, like all the army here, he could actually still win this game. He's established top left for himself. He's mining from one base. He's got that second base finished. He should be able to send some probes over there and start mining that very soon as well. Now here we got a big fight coming at the front of Raynor's base here. It's mostly Dragoons. I would like to see a few Zealots or some Storms mixed in here. I don't know if he's going to be able to take this fight. Yeah, he's going to have to back out for now.
But overall, I would say still decent fight by NBA because he was fighting from the high ground there, and a lot of tanks were not in the fight initially. And now he actually pulls back the goons and saves most of them. So I think that was a decent fight. He almost evened out the supply difference now. And he still has those top two bases mining. Well, one not fully mining, but he is mining at least. And as you said, Terran is almost not mining anymore. So the base is getting dried up at 12 o'clock. So this is the last army that our Terran player has here.
Yeah, like that. Like you said, that money is drying up. Terran has no mining whatsoever. Did NBA actually fight into the winning position here? Like, it's looking pretty good for him. If he kills this Terran army one time, I think he just wins the game. Completely out of minerals. We have zero mining going on for the Terran now.
He still has 3 tanks at the top. He has some units in the natural still. Reyna really needs to get all his units together to win this fight. If he loses this fight, it's over.
Yeah, this has been a very kind of crazy game, or crazy couple like 10-15 minutes here of fighting and everything. But now both players have slowed it down a little bit, realizing, okay, whoever wins this next big fight here, this is like a very critical moment. Like, if Terran wins this fight, he probably wins the game. If Protoss wins this fight, he can win the game. You know, like, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Here we go.
Okay, stasis. Oh, EP hits the Arbiter. Only one storm so far. Okay, there's another storm. High Templars are getting focused, and the tanks are just crushing this remaining goons here. Very nice fight for Reyna. Very nice EMPs on the Arbiter and a few High Templars. And now he got it. He got the fight won. He also unsieged the tanks at 12, so he actually realizes, yes, those tanks. Yeah, now he actually moves them. And he's flying this command center to the top left. So now finally this moment happens that we talked about earlier, where Reyna wins a fight and uses that to secure the top left corner of the map.
Yeah. One thing I had to really be critical of NBA there is he didn't get a great flank. He could have maybe come from the bottom, and he didn't have really any zealots with that army. If he had some zealots, he could have got on top of those tanks and really possibly changed the tide of that fight. But now, As it is, his army is so low, and he just lost another base. He is still mining, so he can still make some units, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make enough to kill all the tanks that Raynor has here in time. And Raynor's going to be able to land that CC and start mining here. I've been back and forth here for the last few minutes on who's going to win this game, but I got to say, I think Terran's got it now.
Yeah, it's really a matter on how they take the fights. We saw NBA almost getting back into this game by catching halves or parts of the army of the Terran without the other parts being there. But now that the army of the Terran is all together, Reyna is winning the fights again, and this is probably the last hurrah of NBA here. Can he do it?
Yeah, he does have some zealots with it this time, but all the zealots have gotten cleaned up now. There's some vulture reinforcements coming in, and I think with cleaning up this Protoss army, Raynor's going to clean up this game. Very close, very action-packed, very fun game here, but I think Raynor's done it and secured himself a spot. We'll have to see. NBA is about to lose his last mining base. He did take bottom right, but he's not mining from it. He doesn't really have any probes that he can send over there to mine. And there is the GG. Wow, well played game. Very exciting, crazy game for the last game of the night, but Raynor does manage to take it in advance for himself, so both Terrans do advance out of this group, and we have 2 Terrans in the round of 8.
Yes, congratulations to Kyuge and Reyna for advancing here. And yeah, I think we saw so many nice games, very different matchups. We got a little bit of everything. We saw very different games, some cheeses, some late games. I think today was a very nice day for StarCraft, and we just saw an awesome group here in the BSL 11 Gosuleague.
Yeah, totally agree. Very fun day, very fun group to cast today. Lots of good games, lots of close games, but in the end, the 2 Terrans did advance. So now we have 6 of the 8 players that have qualified for the round of 8. Only 2 left to take the last 2 spots.
Yes, and let's take a look at those at that situation in the Gosuleague here. I got the information of or from Metaphysics that Liquipedia is updated. Thanks to Metaphysics for updating, or at least informing me that it's updated. We will check that out here and take a last look at the group we saw today. So here we have it. Group B. We saw Reyna take it 2-0 against NBA in the very first match of the group already. And then our second Terran, Kyuge from Germany, defeating Squall with a little cheesy build in the first game, BBS, but then a nice mech game with a drop and so on. And then we had both Terrans in the winners match, with Kyuge taking it 2-0. So Kyuge actually very strong here, advancing 4-0 out of this group. And then we saw NBA defeating Squall 2-0 in the losers match, and then again losing 2-0 against Reyna, as happened in the first match of the group already. So Reyna actually defeats NBA 4-0 here and secures the second spot in this group.
Yeah, it was actually kind of crazy to see that they were all 2-0s, despite how close some of these games were, how action-packed some of these games were. Every game did end 2-0, but still very fun group. And congratulations to both our Terran players for advancing. Yeah, we got one group left. Maybe we should take a look and see who the last 2 spots could potentially go to. I think that'll be cast by Ver on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe someone can link Veer's Twitch page in the chat here. Revolution Veer is his name on Twitch. He will cast Group D on Thursday, so in 2 days we'll find out who the last 2 players are that advance to the round of 8. We have Zoom, Zeti, and P-Tag as 3 Zergs here in that group, and then Disakwe as the sole Protoss here. Okay, now I just said please put the link in the chat, and
nobody can put it in.
Now I realize I blocked links in the chat. So sorry about that. I will link it myself. I had too many spam bots in my chat, so I had to disable links in the chat. But now we have it. So the link is in the chat now. You can go on that Twitch channel of Veer, leave him a follow, and then watch the last group here on Thursday. Yeah, and then we'll see who advances to the round of 8. And of course, our casting doesn't stop here with the round of 16. We will also continue to cast the playoff stage, the elimination bracket of this tournament. So next Tuesday, in 1 week from now, you will also see some more BSL Gosuleague action on this channel with the round of 8, casted by Snipe and myself, of course.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Can't wait to see the matchups getting into that round of 8. It's going to be very hype. You know, you got the best of the best in Gosuleague going at it here. I believe those are all going to be best of 5s, so should be a lot of fun.
Yes, that will probably be the case. We got some strong players in the round of 8, and we also have 2 Terrans, so that's nice. Okay, yeah, with that, I think this stream comes to an end. Any last words to say, Snipe?
Oh, thanks everyone for tuning in. Good shout out to BSL, Zero, and all the people at BSL, of course, for putting on such a great event. Also, for those who like watching maybe a little bit newbie of StarCraft, CPL playoffs finals are this week. Going to be starting, I believe, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, the casts. So tune in for that. I believe MasterReY's team is in the finals once again. Somehow his team went from being last place in regular season to being in the finals. So there you go. I don't know. He's won, what, 2-3 seasons in a row? Can he make it another? Possibly. We'll have to see.
What can I say? It doesn't matter who's ahead of the competition in the beginning of the season. It only matters who's ahead in the end, after all the coaching and all the work that has been put in really matters. And yeah, it will be fun. So definitely tune in there for the CPL finals. Okay, and also another thing you can watch right now is my personal stream. I will not stop here after this stream. I will turn it off and then I will turn it again like 1 minute later. So if you want to watch more StarCraft action, some Protoss ladder action, I'm around 2K and I will play some ladder games here. You can just stay here and yeah, watch me. I got some new channel rewards, so you might want to check that out, and I would appreciate it if you tune in. Okay, with that, I think we are at the end here. So thanks a lot for watching this BSL Gosuleague cast, and I hope we see you again maybe in a few minutes, or maybe on Thursday on Veer's stream, or next Tuesday here again for some more Gosuleague casting. Thank you, and bye-bye.